chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know your history? Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History.
Now we going back. Heathen on my back for sure when I let the truth go. We gon' let them know, my people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me, laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now, got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching, yeah. You hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back. Heathen on my back for sure when I let the truth go. We gon' let them know, my people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me, laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now, got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching, yeah. You hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know what to
Time running, it's amazing. All the things you can learn in short space, but the time's still running, don't let it waste. Yeah, you can learn with me, cause when I'm reading, oh, it's so amazing, so amazing. I flip the page, I see it written down again and again. I'm humble and I'm hawking it. That if you will today, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, follow me, yeah, 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 yeah. Follow me, yeah, to the Sabbath, yeah. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, follow me, yeah, yeah, to the Sabbath day. Then we go and keep it holy and make it to the next day. Do you know what today is? It's our hidden history. Our hidden history. Do you know what today is? It's our hidden history. History.
Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. We are back. We are back. We are back. All praise to the Lord. It's been a long, seems like it's been a long time. It seems like it's been a while, but it's not really. But all praise to the Lord. We're back. We're back. We're going to drop some stuff for y'all. You are now tuned into
Our Hidden History radio show.
We're back. So, drop some jewels for y'all today. Hopefully you enjoy. Where do I begin? I don't even know where to start. Let's go to, real quick, Acts 15.
Hey, shout out to our reader, man. Officer Manny back in the building, huh?
Shout out to Manny.
Nah, all praise.
Yeah, all praises, man. Let's go, man. Acts 15,
Right,
verse 1.
yourself, man. Where's this watching?
You're going to be all right, man.
Acts 15 and 1.
Acts chapter 15, verse 1. And certain men which came down from Judea taught the brethren, and said, Except ye be circumcised after the manner of Moses, ye cannot be saved.
So I'm not reading this for, this is going into the debate they have regarding the circumcision and the Gentiles. Read on.
When therefore Paul and Barnabas had no small dissension and disputation with them, they determined that Paul and Barnabas and certain other of them should go up to Jerusalem unto the apostles and elders about this question.
Verse 3.
And being brought on their way by the church, they passed through Phoenice and Samaria, declaring the conversion of the Gentiles. And they caused great joy unto all the brethren.
So they passed through Phoenice. Phoenice goes back to Phoenicia. Okay, the word Phoenicia goes back to the word Punic. Okay, Punic, it means palm or land of the palm trees. So those many palms that were there. All right, so that's the word Phoenice goes back to. It goes back to the word Phoenix. It goes to the word Phoenicia. It's all the same. All right, so what we want to do is, I know scholars, modern scholars really, make the mistake of saying that the Phoenicians were Canaanites. No, they weren't. They resided in the land, but they were referred to as Sidonians. Sidonians based upon the city that they lived in, Sidon. Tyre and Sidon. They were called Tyrians or Sidonians, but their original biblical ethnicity is Canaanites. The Canaanites and Sidonians or Tyrians are the same, one and the same. But the people who are labeled Phoenicians living in the area, remember Israel took the land from them. Remember Tyre, Sidon, Israel, that's part of the promised land. So we took that land. So from them because it was promised to Abraham. So the Phoenicians, modern scholars say because the Canaanites was there first, they say those Phoenicians there are Canaanites. But the term Phoenician was not given to the Canaanites. Only modern scholars attribute the term Phoenicians to Hamites, whereas the original, or those who do more scholarly research, they pretty much understand that the Phoenicians were not Hamites. They were, in fact, Israelites, okay? So the first thing we mentioned 2 weeks ago, prior to this, it was last week, it was the men's conference.
Yes, sir.
So the week before last, all praise to the Lord. We had a successful men's conference, all praise to the Lord.
All praise,
We made a
Give
huge impact in the Detroit Declaration. We got heathens crying and peeing in their beds and praying to white Jesus that we stop growing. It's not going to happen.
Nah, not at all.
But we left a huge impact out there in Detroit. I mean, we are viral. We are like 1.9 million video of 1.9 million views.
Right.
Shared. So, we're out there, man. The news can black us out all they want, black us out all they want. It ain't working, man. Social media is too powerful. All right. So we have our own media. We have our own media anyway, so we can't stop us either with that. For now. So going back to my point, I mentioned last week about the history of Septimius Severus. Septimius Severus was a Punic. He was a Punic origin. Okay, going back to the word Phoenician. Real quick, give me Punic, real quick. Phoenicia. Same thing. No,
Wikipedia.
No, not that Wikipedia. Not that one. We'll get to that soon. I'm gonna go back on what I touched on 2 weeks ago to kind of refresh your memories. I'm taking a long route leading up to the Silurians, leading up to the colonizing of Ireland, leading up to the colonizing of Spain. I'm leading to that. Okay, so here it says the Punic people or Western Phoenicians. See, those words are synonymous. Punic or Western Phoenician were what? What are they?
The Punic people or Western Phoenicians were a Semitic people in the Western Mediterranean.
In the Western Mediterranean, that's the Promised Land. The Western Mediterranean is the west side of the Mediterranean Sea. That's the Promised Land. Go ahead.
Who migrated from Tyre.
Go ahead.
Phoenicia. To North Africa.
They migrated to North Africa. Go ahead.
During the early Iron Age.
Because remember, my class I brought out about Dido, Princess Dido. Okay, some say it's half myth, whatever, but they state that basically that the Canaanites, they established colonies in Mediterranean Sea, North Africa or Carthage. They had an island called New Tyre, and they had on the mainland Old Tyre, okay, and Sidon's right under it. So they were called Sidonians. The Canaanites resided in these lands. They were called Sidonians or Tyrians. You read about in the Bible and the Apocrypha and so on and so forth. And so that's what they were called. But they resided in Phoenicia before Israel was there. They were in Phoenicia. They were there. They were in the land called Phoenicia or Canaan. It's the same place. Canaan and Phoenicia is the same exact place. Phoenice, the New Testament, it's the same place. But it says that these guys were what? It says they were a...
Says, go back up. Let's read from the top. The Punic people or Western Phoenicians were a Semitic people in the Western Mediterranean who migrated from Tyre, Phoenicia, to North Africa.
Right, so these Semites here, that's us. These Semites here is us, but the Hamites themselves were already residing in these land masses because remember, as I said before, we dealt with them regarding trade with Solomon and Hiram. So this is Israelites here. These are Israelites, pretty much. These are Israelites. So I said Semitic people in the Western Mediterranean who migrated from Tyre, Phoenicia, and to North Africa during the early Iron Age. Go ahead.
In modern scholarship, the term Punic, the Latin equivalent of the Greek-derived term Phoenician.
Right, the Greek-derived term Phoenician. Go ahead.
Is exclusively used to refer to Phoenicians in the Western Mediterranean, following the line of the Greek East and Latin West.
Right, go ahead, read on.
The largest Punic settlement was ancient Carthage.
The largest Punic settlement was ancient Carthage because Israel resided there. We migrated over there along with Ham. Go ahead.
Essentially modern Tunis.
Modern Tunis is Tunisia today. Remember I showed y'all 2 weeks ago about the Haritans. The Haritans reside in these lands today. They're referred to as by the Arabs there, Blackmoors. Okay, that's them. Go ahead.
But there were 300 other settlements along the North African coast from Leptis Magna.
That's what Septimius Severus is from, Leptis Magna. Go ahead.
In modern Libya to Mogador in southern Morocco.
Go ahead.
As well as western Sicily.
Because we took that over. Remember, we took over Sicily. That's the Hannibal in them. We took over Sicily. That's southern Italy. Go ahead.
Southern Sardinia, the southern and western coast of the Iberian Peninsula.
The southern and western coast of Spain. The Iberian Peninsula. Go ahead.
Malta.
Malta's the island that Paul went to. He came across the barbarians. We went over this 2 weeks ago. That was Acts 28. He was talking to the barbarians, which were our people over there, Semites over there. Go ahead.
And Ibiza. Their language, Punic, was a dialect of Phoenician, one of the Northwest Semitic language originating in the Levant.
Right. So once again, these were our people. Now, remember, the Hamites, they had these. They try to confuse it. The Phoenicians were our people. I'm mixing myself up. The Phoenicians were our people here, okay? But Ham, the Canaanites, they colonized these land masses first because they were there first. They were seamen, Hiram and them, the Tyrians, they were Hamites. When Solomon did trade with them, it was a business venture. Then when Alexander the Great conquered New Tyre, and I read that to y'all 2 weeks ago in Zechariah, I believe, he burned it down to the ground. When they fell, we took over. The Israelites took over, okay, because when they fled to these lands, when Alexander the Great conquered them, we were already in these lands based upon the Assyrian captivity and Babylonian. I went over this like way back. I went over this.
Right.
So so our people pretty much replaced the Sidonians. So the Greeks named us Phoenicians. Now I'm gonna show you that. So real quick, I'm gonna show you real quick. Get me. Where do I begin? Give me Septimius Severus first. Give me Caesar and Christ first. Caesar and Christ first. We'll go there. Because in modern books they say the Phoenicians were the Canaanites, but it says that they're Semitic. Canaanites are not Semitic. Canaanites are Hamitic. They're not Semitic. And Canaanites spoke of a dialect. The Canaanites spoke a dialect of Hebrew, but not the same as the Israelites. There's variation. So Esau tries to make the Canaanites Semitic based upon language, but no, they were Hamites.
Go to the page with Septimius. That's when
Caesar and Christ.
It's like page 400 or something, or 300. It should be in one of the. We used it 2 weeks ago. So
now I'm gonna prove to y'all that the Punics and Phoenicians are one and the same. Showed you on Wikipedia. All right, and they had colonized areas of Tunisia, Libya. Left this man. I mean, Hannibal's family. They came from Libya. Hannibal's family came from Libya, and they migrated, and they took and the Carthaginians, which are Phoenicians, Punic, they took over pretty much the whole top half of Africa, from the Libya all the way across to Mauritania. They had all of that, and they had Sicily, the bottom of Sicily, or bottom of Italy. We had all of that. We took over Spain. We had that too. Okay.
You don't have it?
We have Caesar and Christ. We're going to use it numerous times.
No, the one we used was Septimius Severus, a Punic speaking family. We just used it.
Yeah. So, give me real quick, Matthew. The term Phoenician. Oh gosh. It's a Mark. So again, going back to my point I was saying before about, so our people migrated to these areas. They migrated to that area, that landmass. The Phoenician woman, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Maybe that.
Matthew 15.
Yeah.
Matthew chapter 15, verse 21. Then Jesus went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon.
And Tyre and Sidon. So Christ departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon. He was teaching there as well. Tyre and Sidon. This goes back to the Phoenicia, this region Phoenicia. Go ahead.
And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying,
Woman of Canaan, going back to Tyre and Sidon, because the land of Canaan is Tyre and Sidon. That whole landmass is called the land of Canaan. Tyre and Sidon cities are found in the land of Canaan. It says she was of Canaan because she lived there, but she was not a Canaanite woman. She was a heathen, she was a white woman. Now, read on, verse 22 again.
Verse 22. And behold, a woman of Canaan.
A woman of that land, Tyre and Sidon, is Canaan. The promised land is Canaan. Go ahead.
Came out of the same coast.
Out of the same coast of Tyre and Sidon. Go ahead.
And cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil.
Now get Mark 7:24.
Mark chapter 7, verse 24. And from thence he arose and went into the borders of Tyre and Sidon.
Tyre and Sidon, go ahead.
And entered into an house, and would have no man know it.
Know it. No man know it. Come on.
But he could not be hid. For a certain woman, whose young daughter had an unclean spirit, heard of him, and came and fell at his feet. The woman was a Greek.
The woman was a Greek. The woman was a Greek. Go ahead.
A Syro-Phoenician by nation.
She was a Syro-Phoenician. Syro-Phoenician is a Syrian inhabitant of Phoenice. Syria goes back to Edom. That goes back to Antiochus. That goes back to the Seleucid family. These were Edomites residing in this land. That's what it says. She was a Greek, a Syro-Phoenician by nation. Antiochus was said to be a Syrian. That's why you place in Acts, book of Acts called Antioch. Where's Antioch located? Where's Antioch located? It's Syria. Matter of fact, real quick, type in Antioch real fast. Wikipedia, Antioch. See where it is? I believe it's Syria. I hope I ain't wrong. I believe it's Syria. Just type in where is Antioch located. Like that.
Antioch. Go back up. Antioch on the Orontes. Was a Syrian Antioch was a Hellenistic city.
What does it say?
Syrian Antioch.
There you go. Syrian Antioch. Syrian Antioch. Thank goodness, I thought I was wrong. Syrian Antioch. Go ahead.
Syrian Antioch was a Hellenistic city on the eastern side of the Orontes River. Its ruin lie near the current city of the Antakya, Turkey, to which the ancient city lends its name.
Go to the map real quick to the right. The top map. Let me see what that says.
Map of Antioch.
Load up. Oh, that's too small in print. Go back to the map you had before. It showed Syria before, right?
This one?
Nah, go out of this. Go out of this. Yeah, you had a map that pointed to it. Yeah, click that. Did y'all find that page yet?
I didn't find it yet, sir.
We used it 2 weeks ago. I did not find it. Oh gosh.
So it sits in between Turkey and Syria.
Yep. It's in
But
between.
mostly Syria.
Mostly Syria. On top. All right. So hold on.
Yeah, so
Yeah, say something.
So all praises, another episode, our hidden history. Like Deacon said, so what we doing? We still going the long route as far as bringing all this information together, so y'all better understand the history of the Phoenicians, of the Silurians, and we're gonna lead into the Anglo-Saxons, the Jukes, the all over Scotland. Because we ruled those areas, the British Isles. So we're going to touch on all of that leading up to King James. So that's where we're going to end up at. All right.
Go back. Who's that? Mark 7. So, yeah. So Antioch goes back to Antiochus.
Thank you. What took so long to find that, bro?
Where was it?
That was page 600, sir. I found it.
Okay. All praises. All right. So now, read Mark again.
Mark chapter 7, verse 26. The woman was a Greek, a Syro-Phoenician by nature.
A Syro-Phoenician, a Syrian Phoenician, because you was a Syrian. These are Syrians or Edomites residing in this landmass, Phoenice. Go ahead. So she was a Syro-Phoenician. You had two sets of Phoenicians. You had Libyo-Phoenicians. That's the Jakes and Ham mingled together. And you had Syro-Phoenicians. That's Edomites residing in the land. Libyo-Phoenician, Syro-Phoenician. She was a Syro. She's a white woman living in the Ham. Like, for example, you have Africans and you have Afrikaans. Afrikaners, like the Dutch over there in South Africa, call themselves Afrikaans. Those would be today, you call them back this time, those are Syro-Phoenicians. And then you have the real Africans or whatever, that's, Libyo-Africa, that's Libyo-Phoenicians, which would be, remember it said from Libya all the way over to Morocco. That's Jake and Ham residing or whatever. Because original Libyans was put. But Israel, remember, the Punics, the Israelites, we migrated over that area. Because remember, Libya is right next to what? Egypt. It's literally right there. All right? Or Cyrenaica in Acts chapter 2. All right? So now, read this now. So she was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by nation. She was this is a Caucasian woman that resided in the land of Canaan. All right? Or a Greek woman living in the land of Canaan. And Christ, of course, sent her away, shoot her away, and she begged, acknowledged she was a dog, my favorite scripture. I'm a dog. That's okay. For that, your daughter's healed, because she's a dog. Good. Humiliation came before the healing. Then both of them grew old and died. She didn't get the kingdom.
Right.
Where we at?
The collapse of the empire, 193 AD to 305 AD. A Semitic dynasty.
A Semitic dynasty. So Septimius Severus was a Roman ruler, a black ruler of Rome of Semitic dynasty. Go ahead.
On January the 1st, 193, a few hours after the assassination of Commodus, the Senate met in a transport of happiness and chose as emperor one of its most respected members, whose just administration as prefect of the city had continued the finest traditions of the Antonines. Pertinax accepted with reluctance a dignity so exalted that any fall from it must be fatal. He demeaned himself as an ordinary man, says Herodian, attended the lectures of the philosophers, encouraged literature, replenished the treasury, reduced taxes, and auctioned off the gold and silver. Go down.
You go to the point where
go to the next page. All right, here we go. Go back to the other page real quick and go down to the bottom so it gets his name. All right. Okay. The leaders of the guard announced that they would bestow the crown upon that Roman who should offer them the largest donative. Didius Julianus was persuaded by his wife and daughter to interrupt his meal and enter his bid. Proceeding to the camp, he found a rival offering 5,000 drachmas, $3,000, to each soldier in return for the throne. The agents of the guard passed from one millionaire to the other.
Right. Fighting over power for the throne.
Encouraging higher bids. When Julianus promised each man 6,250 drachmas, the guard declared him emperor. Aroused by this crowning indignity, the people of Rome appealed to the legions in Britain, Syria.
This is Didius Julianus. These are the two feathers you read about in Esdras. The two feathers that got taken out in a short time before the Middle Times began. This is going into the beginning of the Middle Ages. That's why it says 193 to 305, because that's when the Dark Ages began. The Dark Ages began when Septimius sat his black behind on that Roman throne. The Dark Ages began. That's when blacks begin to rule. Go ahead.
That's right.
Because we already had the other side of the world. We already had the Americas. So now we're taking it up the east now. Go ahead.
Aroused by this crowning indignity, the people of Rome appealed to the legions in Britain, Syria, and Pannonia to come and depose Julianus. The legions, angered by exclusion from the native, hailed their respective generals with the imperial title and marched toward Rome. The Pannonian commander, Lucius Septimius Severus, Gata, gained the principate by boldness, expedition, and bribery. He pledged himself to give each soldier 12,000 drachmas upon his accession.
Right, they're all paying their way into the top. They're all trying to pay their way and bribe and so on and so forth. Because Didius Julianus basically cut his army's money. So Septimius said, "Well, this guy cut your pockets. I put more money in your pocket if you made me emperor." So that's what happened. Go to the point where his ethnicity. Go to the point where we getting there.
Yes, sir.
His race. All right, guys, let's go. Keep going.
Go back. All right, very bottom. He pledged himself to give each soldier 12,000 drachmas upon his accession. He led them from the Danube to within 70 miles of Rome in a month. He won over to himself the troops sent to halt him and subdue the Praetorians by offering them pardon in return for the surrender of their leaders.
Right.
He violated precedent by entering the capital with all his troops in full armor. But he himself appeased tradition by wearing civilian dress. A tribune found Julianus in tears and terror in the palace. led him into a bathroom and beheaded him.
And killed him in the bathroom. So Timothy Severus killed him in the bathroom. Go ahead.
This happened June the 2nd, 193.
This happened June the 2nd, 193. That was that Edomite. That was it. That was the last Edomite Roman emperor at this point. Go ahead.
Africa, which was at this time providing Christianity with its ablest defenders, gave birth, 146, an early schooling to Septimius, brought up in a family of Punic-speaking Phoenicians.
A family of Punic, what?
Speaking Phoenicians.
Punic-speaking Phoenicians. Go ahead.
He studied literature and philosophy in Athens and practiced law in Rome, despite the Semitic accent of his Latin.
Mm-hmm.
He was among the best educated Romans of his time.
Very smart. Go ahead.
And liked to surround himself with poets and philosophers.
Enjoyed being educated.
But he did not allow philosophy to impede his wars or poetry to soften his character. He was a man of handsome features and strong physique and simple dress.
Strong brother, handsome brother. Go ahead.
Hardy in hardship, clever in strategy, fearless in battle, ruthless in victory.
Wow.
He conversed with wit, judged with penetration, lied without scruple, loved money more than honor, and governed with cruelty and incompetence.
Governed with cruelty, but he was smart. That's it.
Yes, sir.
That's it. So this man was of Punic origin. Punic origin. Now, give me the other joint. Give me the Punic books that I want. Blow it up. Go to the top of the page. Because we read this before. No, that same thing you was at before. No, go back to you was at before. With the blue highlight. No, not that one. Yeah. So that's one. I'm sorry, that's one. The top. Start from impressed with this resemblance.
Yes, sir.
This book is called what now?
This is called the Black Man, His Antecedents and Genius.
Right. This book was written in
1863.
Yep, this book was was published in 1863, which means it was compiled while we were in slavery. You don't just write a book in one day. It takes time. It takes gather your resources together. So this book was compiled and put together while we were in chains. So this is a white eyes only book.
Right.
All right. The book is entitled. Hold on, give you right now. Hold on. The book is entitled. Give me a moment. It's The Black Man. This is written by a white dude. I believe it was a white dude. The Black Man. His antecedents, meaning his descendants, his genius, and his achievements, by William Wells Brown. In Washington Street, 221 Washington Street, Boston, 1863. It was published in Boston by James Redpath, as a publisher. In 1863, it was published. So it was being put together while we were in chains. I'm gonna prove it to you. It's in the page. I'm gonna say it to you. All right, watch this. Impressed with
this resemblance, Bodikin was induced to reflect on the subject, and at last came to the conclusion that the Berbers, who primarily peopled North Africa.
Stop. The Berbers, who primarily peopled Northern Africa. Remember, I showed y'all before how the Phoenicians, or Punic peoples, they inhabit to what? Tyre, Sidon, which is the Western Mediterranean. Tunis, which is what? North Africa. To Morocco. That's Northern West Africa. Northwest Africa, that's Morocco, Mauritania. Berbers resided there. I taught a class damn near a year ago at this point, if not 2 years ago, that the Berbers, that's Queen Kahena, okay, the Berbers, or the Barbary states, were Israelites that resided in these lands. Okay, Israelites that resided in these lands here. All right, so watch this. Read on.
Impressed with this resemblance, Bodikin was induced to reflect on the subject, and at the last came to the conclusion that the Berbers, who primarily peopled Northern Africa.
Go ahead.
And the dark-skinned Iberians of Western Europe.
And the dark-skinned Iberians. Where's Iberians? What's Iberian mean? It means Spanish. Spain. Dark-skinned Spaniards. That's Israelites. That's what he's talking about. Go ahead.
Belong to the same race.
Boom. So the Berbers and the Iberians are the same people. Berbers, Iberians, same people. Watch. It gets better. Keep going.
He thinks that as Europe and Africa were once united at their western extremities.
They were from the Straits of Gibraltar. You have Spain and Africa are literally attached. You can literally walk into Spain from Africa. Remember, I showed you in class, going back again, with El Tariq and Tariq. They crossed the Rock of Gibraltar. The word Gibraltar means Rock of Tariq. Mm-hmm. Gibraltar means the Rock of Tariq because Tariq crossed there and we conquered Spain. Okay, with the Arabs. It's called, and there's a place called Tarifa today. That's based upon Tarif.
Right.
Who was this? I believe he was Tariq's right-hand man. And he was of the tribe of Simeon. Tariq was the tribe of Simeon.
Right. They both
of them was Israelite. Both of them, yeah. But it tells you the tribe, particularly of Tarifa, was Simeon. Okay, so the Israelites conquered Spain. Okay, Hannibal and them, the Carthaginians, they conquered Spain. That's in 1 Maccabees 8:3. When the Romans conquered Hannibal and them, they took the mines back from them. All right, this is going into that. Read on.
It says, he thinks that as Europe and Africa were once united at their western extremities, previous to the convulsion, which produced the Straits of Gibraltar.
See, which produced the Straits of Gibraltar. That's when we crossed it. Go ahead.
This Iberian population.
This Iberian or Berber population. Go ahead.
Passed into Spain.
They passed into Spain. Go ahead.
By this primeval isthmus.
Go ahead.
And thence diffused themselves over Western Europe and its isles.
And they diffused themselves over Western Europe and its isles. What is Western Europe and its isles?
Wow.
What isles are in Western Europe? That's Britain in them. That's Britain. That's Ireland. That's where that is.
British Isles.
The British Isles. That's where they diffused themselves to. They conquered Spain. They said, let's go further. Let's travel further up.
Dang.
That's who. So the Berbers and the Iberians of North Africa are the same people. Which goes back to the Punics or Phoenicians, which are the Carthaginians, which made these treks to these areas, which became Berbers and Iberians. Keep going.
Whether this were actually the case, it is hard to say. But it is important to note that Seleucus, quoting the Punic books, which were ascribed to King Hyamsu.
So why? So we know that they traveled these areas because it's found in Punic books. The Punics or the Phoenicians wrote books on their travels. So Esau got a hold of the books. But remember, when the Romans conquered the people, like the Greeks, they would study their enemy, read their books, have it translated to their language to read and study their enemy. That's what a wise man does. A wise man reads the history of his enemy, like I'm doing today. Okay, now this is our history, of course, but we know Esau's history too.
Right.
You must know your enemy to defeat your enemy. So Esau gained possession of the Punic books. Go ahead.
The Punic books, which were ascribed to King Hyamsu, exactly reverses the course of migration.
Go ahead.
And states that the progenitors of the African Moors were
the what?
The African Moors were a people from Media and Persia.
Now, remember, the Scythians. Remember the Scythians were placed there. It says that the African Moors were a people from Media and Persia. Because the Assyrian captivity, the Israelites were placed in these areas. Hannibal and them themselves were of Northern Kingdom based upon historical record. They were Northern Kingdom. Go ahead.
Who had marched through Europe into Spain.
Into Spain as the Scythians. Go ahead, and where?
And thence into Mauritania.
That's North Africa once again. That's Berbers.
So, D, what they saying, we came from like two different directions and met up with each other.
Yeah. And it's gathered there. Hey, you here? How'd you get here? I came from that way. Oh, I came from that way. All right, we gonna stay here.
Right.
That's what happened. All right, read on. The what?
Though whether overland by the isthmus or by boats across the strait,
it's still
left to conjecture.
No, it's not. It's by boat. It's by feet and water. By foot and boat. We walked and we had boats. You're not gonna listen, Esau. You're not gonna play this game like the white folks were the only ones that had boats. We had boats, technologically advanced boats, by the way. You want these? Because Esau goes, oh yeah, before us there were no boats. No. We had boats, and we sailed far and wide. All right, let's continue. Is there more? Or is that it?
That's pretty much it.
That's all. No. There's more. Keep going down. There's more. Preacher thinks the Libyans and Iberians were distinct races. Hold on. He thinks the Libyans and Iberians were distinct. That's true. They are distinct because the Libyans initially are Hamites, and the Iberians, he says distinct, letting you know what? That the dark-skinned people in Spain were not Africans. They're not Africans. He says they're distinct races, Libyans and Iberians, because remember, Hannibal and them came from Libya, but they were not Libyans. So Severus is Punic. He's from Leptis Magna. That's Libya, but he was not a Libyan. These were Israelites. Read on.
But owns that they were found intermingling in the islands.
They were found intermingling in the islands. We intermingle with Ham. That's script. That's fact. Go ahead.
And along the western shores of the Mediterranean.
And we mingle with them along the western shores of the Mediterranean as well. Go ahead, keep going.
Of course, it may be taken for granted that among these Iberians,
among the Israelites, go ahead,
thus spread over Africa.
The Iberians, they spread over where?
Africa.
They spread to Africa.
Spain.
They spread to Spain.
France.
That's Septimania. France.
And the British Isles.
And, man, I'm telling you, man. And the British Isles.
All praises.
The Iberians traveled to the British Isles, leading us to who? King James. King James, his daddy, his mama. That's why I'm just giving you the introduction. I'm taking my time. But we're going to get there.
You want to read on a little bit?
Yes, keep going.
Of course, it may be taken for granted that among these Iberians thus spread over Africa, Spain, France, and the British Isles, local differences would exist. Just as there is a perceptible differences between the Anglo-Saxons of the Old World and those of the New. But there is reason to believe that the Scoti of Ireland, the Iberians of Spain, and the Berbers of Africa belong to a fundamentally identical race.
Damn! I didn't know it's even in here. We just coming across it now. So it says the Scoti of Ireland, the Iberians of Spain, and the Berbers of Africa belong to an identical race. That means what? That means the Scots of Ireland were black, the Iberians of Spain were black, which were the Berbers of Africa. They're the same people. This is a book that was published in 1863. The white man understands what we once were. That's why you don't want niggas reading no book. Nigga, you ain't reading nothing. You ain't reading shit. We know too much.
Answers, man.
We know too much about you. You niggas don't. You too smart. You ruled the planet. You had Scotland. You had the British Isles. You had Spain. You had France. You're not reading no books. You ain't reading nothing. Give me Deuteronomy 4.
Especially about your history.
Deuteronomy 4. Those 6. Those wise, understand people. The 4 and 6.
Yes, sir.
Excuse my language. I'm sorry. I got excited. Excuse my language. We're not gonna let you niggas read nothing.
D, can we give Judith 5 and 20 to show how the enemy be
we'll get that
them?
also, yes. Deuteronomy 4 and 6. This book was 18. It's all right. It's all right.
No, I said just keep it on deck.
Oh, yeah. But this book, again, I'm baffled, man, because this book was published in 1863. And they're reading books that the Scoti is the Scots.
Yes.
And the word Scot means black. We have books that say this. The word Scot means black. So if you have Scotland, what's it mean? It means black land. Land of the blacks. Like what? Like Africa. You had Mauritania. That's the land of the blacks. Wherever Israel went, we said this is nigger land. Black land. It's our land.
Oh, crazy.
Wherever we went, it's black land or Ibernia. It's Iberia. We're Hebrews. Iberia. Ireland, we'll call Ireland Ibernium. We either called it Eber or black land. We were proud of our blackness back then. We named everything black. Everything was black to us.
Right.
Black this, black water, nigger river, black land. Igbo land, Eber land. That goes back to Iberian Peninsula, Igbo. It's all the same. Yes, look, I'm sorry. I'm getting excited.
No,
man.
it's okay. Go ahead, do your thing.
Deuteronomy 4 and 6.
Now, I was going to say,
Okay.
the Most High said the world was created for our sakes.
Right,
Anyway.
right. And we knew it.
Right.
And we knew it. So when we travel places, we said, this is our place.
Right. Wherever we set our foot, it's our land.
Right. But of course, under the curses, that was temporary.
Right.
Hey, also, don't get confused with all these different names. This is Esau game to play on words with all these different names that they come up with, Berber and all that stuff. But it was originally we originally named these islands and all these this stuff. Okay, so don't get confused or anything like that.
Yes. So what you got? Deuteronomy 4?
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6.
Then we're going to read Judith chapter 5.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
So the Lord said, keep these commandments therefore and do them. For these commandments are your wisdom and understanding before the nations. Go ahead.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Mm-hmm.
For what nation is there so great, who have God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for?
Go ahead.
And what nation is there so great, that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day?
No one. No one does. No one has laws and statutes like us. God, that's what makes us peculiar, is the commandments that God gave us. Give me Judith 5 now.
This is the book of Judith, chapter 5, verse 20. Now, therefore, my Lord and governor, if there be any error in this people.
This is an Ammonite named Achior talking to a general of an army that planned on overthrowing us to regain power for Babylon against the Persians, to the Medes. And he told the king, that this general, Holofernes, listen, these guys stand in your way of conquest. So if you're gonna go against them, know these things first. Read 20 again.
Now, therefore, my Lord and governor, if there be any error in this people,
if there's any sin in these people, go ahead,
and they sin against their God,
and they break his laws,
let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
This we can open, then you can conquer them. Go ahead.
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
And we'll conquer them. Go ahead.
But if there be no iniquity in their nation,
but if they keep those laws and those statutes, go ahead.
Let my Lord now pass by.
Let my Lord now pass by. Leave them alone. Go ahead.
Lest their Lord defend them.
Lest their God defends them.
And their God be for them.
Go ahead.
And we become a reproach before all the world.
And we get destroyed. Get 11 and 10. Same book. 11:10.
Judith, chapter 11, verse 10.
You can add this to your arsenal. Go ahead, 11:10.
Therefore, O Lord and governor, reject not his word, but lay it up in thy heart. For it is true, for our nation shall not be punished, neither can the sword prevail against them, except they sin against their God.
See? So the nations know the only way you can defeat these people is if you had them go against their God. That's the only way you can beat them. Get 2 Maccabees 8:36.
Damn, so no wonder they was able, during the slave trade, to put millions of us on a boat and bring us over here.
Yeah. and gave us all kind of unclean animals to eat. All that. Kept us uncircumcised. 2 Maccabees 8:30.
2 Maccabees, chapter 8, verse 30.
Wait. No, I'm sorry. What was the 1 Maccabees 8:30? Let me look at it.
What you looking for, D?
Hold on.
It's 36.
36?
8:36.
Thank you. Yeah.
2 Maccabees, chapter 8, verse 36.
Thanks. That's it.
For in this, O Lord, thy righteousness and goodness shall be declared, if thou be merciful unto them which have not the confidence of good works.
Where you at?
Keep going.
36.
It's a long verse. Keep going.
Then answered he me.
No, wait.
You're
8:36?
You're in Esdras. It's Maccabees.
You in Ezra.
Oh, Lord.
I got it.
Oh.
Take a look.
No.
Brothers come.
Yeah. It was necessary.
needed.
It was needed.
Brothers come.
It was needed. He confused us all at the table. We're like,
He was just in the wrong book.
he confused us
was in the
all.
wrong
It
book.
don't matter. Maccabees and Ezra is a big difference. 8:36.
I'm sorry, man. I'll try to help you.
No, there's no helping that. No. 8:36.
It was necessary. That was necessary.
Yeah,
right there.
man. Let's go, 36. Come on.
Second Maccabees chapter 8, verse 36.
Look at Maccabees. 8:36, Manny.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gosh. Oh, jeez.
Can't help you, man. Sorry,
Oh, man. Let's go, man. Come on.
Thus he that took upon him to make good to the Romans their tribute by means of the captives in Jerusalem,
Come on. Be nervous. Come on.
and told abroad that the Jews had God to fight for
So
them.
this is a time when the guy got beat up. He got beat up by the angels. What's his name again? His name was Heliodorus. Heliodorus got a royal angelic ass whipping for trying to set foot in the temple and take money that didn't belong to him. So guy had to come down and check him. You know? Read on. That the Jews had God. It's talking that the Jews had God. Come on.
that the Jews had God to fight for
Go
them,
ahead.
and therefore they could not be hurt.
Therefore, they cannot be hurt. Why?
Because they followed the laws that he gave them.
So when Israel keeps the commandments, we are unstoppable, indomitable,
That's right.
unbeatable.
That's right.
We're Hancock without the white woman. If you seen Hancock, when the white girl's around, he's weak and mortal. When she's gone, when heathens are away from him, he's invincible. Without the drunkenness and stupidity. But outside of that, we're like Hancock.
So
If you ain't seen Hancock or Will Smith, you need to watch it. The movie's very spiritual
and what did I say?
to an extent.
Separate ourselves from Esau.
Right, we separate ourselves from the nations and we get strong. If you watch the movie Hancock, I'm a spoiler alert. You watch the movie Hancock, he had superpowers. He couldn't age. He was immortal. He was he was thousands of years old. Then him and his mate, the Edomite woman, were mated together. And when they come together, whenever they come together, they become human. They get weak. So to get his power back, he would stay away from her, and she retain her mortality and be hers, her own. He'd be his, and have his strength back. When he got near her, So matter of fact, there's a scene where it shows him he gets far from her. When they're far away from each other, and he gets away. Go to that scene, Wolf. Let's show. He's fighting. She's dying, which is good, but she ends up living. I'm sidebarring. She's wounded. She's hurt. He's fighting these humans, getting his behind beat because they're still close together. So once they save her, he gets far away. Let's go to the part where he beats the guy. Let's go. He jumps far away. Let's move fast forward a little bit when he jumps out the window. Move forward. Forward. When he jumps out the window and gets away. Right there. This is when he gets away. Watch it. He's gonna try. He has to leave her. Disclaimer. He beat the bad guys. That's his friend, their kid. He gotta leave. He has to escape her. But he's still weak. So the farther he gets away from her, the better he becomes. He's all bruised up. Going far from her. See? She's going back to life. Trying to escape her. Get away from her. There you go, that's it. So because they're distant from each other, she gets her powers back, he gets his power back. But the point is that he has to stay away from her to retain his superpower. Likewise with Israel. Israel had to stay separate from everybody else to retain their superpower. What did we do? We made it with the heathen and got our ass beat like he did in the movie. Yeah, same thing, we got weak and stupid like him.
Can we read that? Revelation 18:4?
Yeah, read that, please. The movie's very biblical elements in that movie. It's not the best movie in the world, but the premise of it, of him having his power and escaping away from her, that's the best part of the movie.
Yeah. So our weakness is sin.
Right. That's what his weakness was. I mean, she was married. He was attracted to her, and she was married and everything. He was like, I don't know why I like you. She was like, yo, you know, every time we are together, things go bad. You almost died. So let's just separate.
And I think she knew who he was.
She didn't know who he was. She knew who he was, and he didn't know.
He didn't know, yeah.
She knew who he was. She didn't tell him.
That's the same thing.
Same thing today. She knew his identity.
Yeah.
He didn't know, and his name was changed.
You saw no.
He said, "My name is all I know is my name was lady asked for my John Hancock, so I assume my name was John Hancock. That wasn't his name. She never even gave him his name in the movie.
Damn.
Never gave him his name. And you watch it. She never gave him his name.
Yeah, you're a nigga.
She goes, we were together, and you know, we'll go to movies, you know, and our kind died because we were always being pairs. So our whole kind died except us. We're the last of our race. Because whenever they meet and mate, that's all back to Genesis with the sons of God.
Right.
Same thing. Mating with the wrong people and dying. That's what the movie is. He's a son of God, she's a daughter of man. That's what that is. So when they escape each other, he's good and she's good. You understand? Read that you got. Revelation 18:4.
Revelations chapter 18, verse 4.
Movie, I'm not trying to exaggerate the movie. It's not that. It's okay. But if you look at it with spiritual eyes, you understand it makes it good based upon that point. Go ahead.
And I heard another voice from heaven, saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins.
Right, come out of her, my people. Come out of her. He says, is there more?
And that ye receive not of her plagues.
Right, of her plagues. It says, be ye separate. Was that in Corinthians?
Oh, yes.
2 Corinthians 6:17.
Yeah. Saying the same exact thing again. Paul said the same thing.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 17. Wherefore come out of her, wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate.
And be ye separate. Come out from among them, and be ye separate. So the whole premise of Hancock was he had to learn, because remember, his identity is never given to him. He doesn't know who he is, doesn't know his name. But he's trying to do what? He's trying to appease the world and get the world to accept him, so he becomes a hero. All right? But in the process of doing that, he tries to intermingle with the woman, and then he gets weak. And the nations see him as weakness, and they attack him while he's vulnerable. And you watch the movie, it's the same thing. So this guy, remember, he's in the bar, he's in the liquor store, he's all depressed, he's trying to get drunk, and then the guy tries to rob the liquor store, and he shoots him, and the bullet goes through this time. He's like, oh, and he's in the hospital, and that's what leads to that scene. All right, because he was in his worst, in his vulnerable. Israel's vulnerable. When Israel we break our laws and commandments, we become vulnerable. Same thing. That movie's heavy, very heavy. It could have been better, but it has its biblical key points that I find in it to be very, very important that I can use.
You sure didn't want to make it too obvious.
Yeah, he didn't make it too obvious. Like, okay, get away from the white woman. All right, we're gonna just we'll just tap that. That's it. So now going back to the Scotty of Ireland, the Iberi of Spain, and the Berbers of Africa, they're all identical in race. Going back to who? The Phoenicians or the Punics. Get the next book now. Punics, about Negro, them being the Negro, antecedents. That's that book. Isn't that?
With hand.
No, that Punic Books is not. That Punic Books is not that Black Man and His Genius. This is.
Yes, sir. That is. That
other book is not that. No,
yeah, it's different. Oh, cause you
This book
it.
is a Black Man and His Genius. The other book is called something else.
Yeah, the other book is something totally different.
What's it called? It's called trying to give out a book. This book right here is called The Black Man and His Achievements. The other book is around the same year.
Yeah, sorry,
But
yo.
it's
So we had
not-
the books mixed up.
Damn, Jazz. But the other book is called something else.
The blue highlight got me deep.
Yeah, the blue highlight threw us off. Hold on a second.
That particular section was called the Ethnology of Europe. Let me see.
Yeah.
I'll look for it.
Yeah. But in the meantime, go down, read this right here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hanno, the father of Hamilcar and grandfather of Hannibal, was a Negro.
Wait. Go up to Tertullian. Start from there.
Tertullian and St. Augustine were Ethiopian.
Now, Tertullian was also, I believe, he was from Carthage. Matter of fact, real quick, go to Tertullian real fast. See where he's from. Type in Tertullian. This is the guy that the apologists use. Tertullian. They always run to him. And Tertullian was a black Christian. They taught Christianity in Africa. It was the disciples of black, and they taught there first. You nigga, yeah, I like making fun of you apologists, man. Y'all just so dumb on purpose. Is that it? Yeah, read that, please.
Tertullian was a prolific early Christian author from Carthage.
I was right. He was from Carthage. Go ahead.
In the Roman province of Africa.
In the Roman province of Africa. So he was of Carthage. He's from the same place that Septimius Severus is from. He's from the same place that Hannibal is from. He's Punic. So now go back to the other book we was at before. Go back to that book now. Let's read it again. Tertullian and who?
Tertullian and St. Augustine were...
Tertullian and St. Augustine. Go to Augustine, please. Let's see what color they make him. We're Ethiopians and they were black.
But got a white man.
No, Ethiopia is not in Carthage. Ethiopia is not Carthage. Carthage is a complete opposite. Carthage is North Africa. Ethiopia is Northeast Africa. So Ethiopian that means black. Wow. Wow. Ethiopians look that white. Click his picture, please. Let me see. What a pale Ethiopian. And Ethiopian means burnt-faced. They don't look burnt to me.
They can't help themselves.
They can't help themselves, man. They just can't help themselves. It's a St. Augustine. Oh, we're Ethiopian. They were black. Go back. Let's see what he was. Let's see what St. Augustine was. Blow it up.
Augustine of Hippo, also known as St. Augustine, was a theologian and philosopher of Berber origin.
Yo, why does he look like that? Of Berber origin, looking like this dude? Berber origin.
Esau.
It says they were both Ethiopian. They were both black people. These are black Christians. Read again.
It says, also known as St. Augustine.
What year was he? What year was this?
Oh, yes, sir. November 13th, 354 AD.
That was the 2nd century?
Yes, sir.
2nd century AD. Go ahead. This is Middle Ages. Go ahead.
To August 28th, 430 AD.
Go ahead.
Also known as St. Augustine, was a theologian and philosopher of Berber origin.
Oh, boy.
And the bishop of Hippo, Regius, and Numidia.
Go ahead.
Roman North Africa.
Same place that Tertullian's from. Roman North Africa. Damn.
Esau,
why does he look like this?
Esau, you can stop doing this.
They can't help them. They cannot help it, man. They cannot help themselves.
It's over
of
with.
Berber origin. Tertullian and Augustine were Ethiopian, meaning they were black. They were black men. Go back to that now. Jeez. You found the name of the book yet?
No, sir. I got it.
We showed it to Bishop. We showed it to him 2 weeks ago. We showed it to him. Ask what's the name? Jerhan.
Yeah,
Ask him what the book is called. You might know. Tertullian, go ahead.
Tertullian and St. Augustine were Ethiopians.
They were black people. Tertullian and St. Augustine were black Christians. Pagan Christians, really. Black pagan Christians. Go ahead.
Terence, the most refined and accomplished scholar of his time, was of the same race.
Terence, the most refined and accomplished scholar of his time, was of the same race. So this Terence here is the same race as Tertullian and Augustine. They were 3 black men. So the author is giving you understanding of these 3. All these men are all the same people. They all have one common origin. He's going to say it. Read.
Hanno, the father of Hamilcar and grandfather of Hannibal, was a Negro.
Just like Tertullian, St. Augustine, and Terence. Go ahead, watch this.
These are the antecedents.
When it says these, it ain't just talking about Hanno.
Right.
It's referring to Tertullian, Augustine, and Terence too. Or what?
These are the antecedents.
These are the ancestors, go ahead,
of the enslaved blacks on this continent.
So we were still slaves when he wrote this. He's telling you, these guys, these niggas we got here on the plantation, these are their ancestors. The Scoti of Ireland, the Iberians of Spain, and the Berbers of Africa. We have them enslaved on this continent. This continent he's referring to is America. Okay?
And-
So I'm just you cannot make it up.
And they put them, Tertullian, St. Augustine, Terence. Remember, the title of the book is called The Black Man.
Right. So all these people he's writing about are all in reference to the black man he has enslaved in our achievements prior to them having us as slaves. Oh, okay, the book is called Northwest something. Northwestern. Remember the Northwestern?
No, that's not it.
That is the one?
Don't worry,
Oh,
don't
God.
worry.
Misinformation. Jeez.
Officer Jeroboam asked for it.
Jeraham asked for it.
Yeah, I got
Jeraham
it.
asked for it.
I get it, man. That's not it, man.
Joram, if you're watching, Mr.
Yo, play the music for Officer Manny again, y'all. Sorry, don't do it.
All right, where we at? So, give me Acts 13. You always have black. You always have blacks. Black everything. Blacks in the Bible. Yeah, Acts 13. I want.
Yes, sir. This is the book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simon, that was called Nigger.
Called what?
That was called Nigger.
Nigger. Simeon called nigger. So we called ourselves black all the time. And it wasn't a derogatory term. So I say nigga all the time. In my teeth, I say nigga all day long. Because that was the term we used of endearment back then. Of course, I mean, it can be used as a term of endearment now, but not really. Now we just that was a direct negative because of the behavior of our people today. We say, you an evil nigga. But back then it was a term of endearment in terms of your complexion and so forth. Like Septimius Severus had a rival named Pescennius Nigger. That was his rival before he took the throne. Pescennius Nigger was his name. Go back to that page again. Go back to that. We was at before, that book. Grandfather of Hannibal. Go down. Read from here. Read this. From whence came.
From whence sprang the Anglo-Saxons.
Stop. From whence. So where did the Anglo-Saxon come from? Now, I showed you earlier what the word Anglo means. It means angelic. And Saxon goes back to the word Sax, Scythians. The Sax. That's us. But when the white man took over, those landmasters, whoever he conquers, he becomes. So if he conquers the Native Americans, he became a $5 Indian. If he conquered the Israelites, he became an Israelite. If he conquered the Christians, he became a Christian. That's what he does. When he conquered the Persians, he became Aryan. You understand? You found it?
Yes, sir.
What's the name of the book?
The book is called Essays in History and Art.
Essays in History and Art is the book about the Punic books and so on and so forth. Essays in what?
Essays, write that down, Officer Manny. Essays in History and Art.
Essays in History and Art. What's the year?
The year is 1862.
1862. White eyes only again. A year. My bad. Thank you, Manny. Thank you. And you spelled it correctly. All praise to the Lord. You spelled my bad correctly.
Thanks, D.
You didn't spell my bad with 2 D's.
Hey, Officer Man, quit while you're ahead. Quit while you're ahead, man.
So now, read from whence. From whence.
From whence sprang the Anglo-Saxon.
From whence sprang, as this author was saying, the white man believes he's Anglo-Saxon. Now we know it's a lie. They know it's a lie. Remember, we read earlier another book that the Iberian of Spain, the Scoti of Ireland, and the Berbers are all the same race.
Right.
So Esau adopts titles to himself that he knows is not his. Read that, please.
From whence sprang the Anglo-Saxon.
From whence sprang the Anglo-Saxon, the white man? Watch.
For Mark.
You remember, keep this in mind, he says.
It is he.
It is he, the Anglo-Saxon, that what?
That denies the equality of the Negro.
That denies the equality of the Negro. That feels the Negro is not a man, but an animal of burden. Even though he has done what? He was what? He was Tertullian. He was St. Augustine. He was Terence, a scholar in this day, from which these white folks borrow from. He was Hannibal, Hamilco, Hanno, Mago, his brother. That's who these guys were rulers and conquerors and famous seamen that traveled. Go ahead.
When the Britons first
Britons.
when the Britons first became known to the Tyrian mariners, says Macaulay, they were little superior to the Sandwich Islanders.
That's all I wanted. But the point is that he's saying that the white folks, they denied the equality of the Negro. despite his ancient achievements that we read about regarding his ancestry. So the author of this book is saying, yeah, we deny the black man being a human, but we do know that he was once Hamilcar. These are their descendants. They've accomplished many things, but we will not allow these niggas to rule ever again.
Hey, go down some more. Go down. Come up. Just want to see. Go. Come up. No. I meant go down. I'm sorry. Go down.
Yeah, when the Romans, right?
Caradicus. We went over Caradicus. Caradicus was Caradicus was
when the Romans invaded. Read that part.
Hume says they were a rude and barbarous people, divided into numerous tribes, dressed in the skins of wild beasts.
Druidism.
That's
witchcraft.
Was their religion, and they were very superstitious. Such is the first account we have of the Britons.
Go ahead.
When the Romans invaded that country,
the Anglo-Saxons he's referring to in this context here, that's us. That's us. Those who the Anglo-Saxons he's referring to that deny the Negro, that's white folks. But the history he's bringing out regarding the ancient Anglo-Saxons, which would be us, when the Romans invaded that country of the Britons, which would be Israelites. Go ahead.
When the Romans invaded that country, they reduced the people to a state of vassalage.
They reduced them to slavery. Go ahead.
As degrading as that of slavery in the southern states.
Watch this.
Their king.
The king of the Britons. Go ahead.
Caradicus
is the forefather of King Arthur. He is the forefather of King Arthur. Or Arthurus, or Chief Arthur, not king. He wasn't the king. His father was still king. His name was Arthurus ab Tudrig.
Right.
Tudrig was the king. Arthurus was the chief, was the son. But his father outlived him. He was a chief of the Silurians. The Silurians were Britons. The Silurians were Israelites. So their king the king of the Britons, or Anglo-Saxons, the ancient Anglo-Saxons, was Israelites, Silurians. Their king Caradicus is what?
Their king Caradicus was captured and sent a slave to Rome.
Right.
All right.
Was captured and sent a slave to Rome. And then the disciples and apostles taught him, and they brought the doctrine back to Britain, and Britain was converted.
Right. Yep.
And the Israelites of Britain which were converted over there. All right. So Caradicus is the forefather of Chief Arthur, who became romanticized and became who we know in history as King Arthur. Caradicus is his forefather.
And going back to what I said before.
Going back to the black man,
there you go.
His achievements, all these people he's talking about are black people.
Why would he mention it in the book?
Why mention Caradicus for? For what purpose regarding the black man? Because they were black. The Silurians were black. They were Briton. They were the original Anglo-Saxons, and the author of this book knows it, but he didn't write it down. As far as we know, we're gonna read more into it. But as far as we know, he's saying the Anglo-Saxon. Who is Anglo-Saxon? He denies the Negro, but the original Anglo-Saxons were Negro. That's what he's saying. Now, oh boy, let's go to where we at? I lost my thought.
I know we was dealing with Tyrion and all of that. Did you want it Caesar and Christ on that?
No, we went to Caesar and Christ already.
With Punic, with the Phoenician.
Yeah, we read that already. Caesar and Christ. September Severus.
By September, we had another page though.
Oh, read that one. Go to that one. Go to that one. Then. Go to that one.
That page actually goes into how we took over.
Right. Yeah. Go there.
Page 38, 37. Check that page. Caesar and Christ.
Yeah.
39. Yes, that's it. 39.
Vocab is on our chat.
Who? Mark Rice is in our chat?
Uh-huh.
Good for him. Take notes.
He's really scoffing, though.
We want to debate $50,000.
That's it? Yeah.
Yeah, $50,000 for a debate. Where we at?
All right, go up. Hannibal against Rome, 264 to 202 BC. Carthage. Some 1,100 years before our era, the inquisitive traders of Phoenicia discovered the mineral wealth of Spain. Soon, a fleet of merchant vessels plied between Sidon and Tyre.
Get First Maccabees 8 and 1. First Maccabees 8 and 3. But we don't continue reading here. Let's just prepare to
Yes,
read
sir.
that. Go ahead.
Tyre and Byblos at one end of the Mediterranean, and Tartessus at the mouth of
Tartessus is believed to be Spain. Tartessus. Go ahead.
at the mouth of the Guadalquivir on the other. Since such voyages could not then be made without many stops, and the southern shores of the Mediterranean provided the shortest and safest route, the Phoenicians established intermediate posts and trading stations on the African coast at Leptis Magna.
Leptis Magna is where Hannibal's from. They established the Phoenicians, the Semitic settlers. This is Semitic settlers. They settled in these areas. They settled in these areas here. Go ahead.
So Septimius.
The Septimius Severus' family, so they got there. Go ahead.
Now Lebda, Hadgetum, Sasa, Utica, and Diaratus. I'm skipping all that. And even beyond Gibraltar at Elixis, south of Tangier.
Gibraltar is the connection between Spain and Africa. Go ahead.
The Semitic settlers.
The Semitic settlers. Go ahead.
At these posts married some of the natives and bribed the rest to peace.
We married the natives and bribed the rest to peace that were there. We intermarried into them. Go ahead.
About 813 BC, a new group of colonists, perhaps from Phoenicia, perhaps from expanding Utica, built their homes upon a promontory 10 miles northwest of the modern Tunis. The narrow peninsula could be easily defended, and the land, watered by the Bagradus River, was so fertile that it quickly recovered from repeated devastation. Classic tradition ascribed the founding of the city to Elissa or Dido.
Right, that's the founding. That's where the original inhabitants, those are Canaanites that migrated over there around 800s, and Israel went there with them. Go ahead.
Daughter of the king of Tyre.
Right, Dido. Go ahead.
Her husband having been slain by her brother, she had sailed with other adventurous souls to Africa.
That's us. Go ahead.
Her settlement was called Carthage, new town to distinguish it from Utica. The Greeks transformed the name into Cargeton, the Romans into Carthago. The Latins gave the name Africa to the region around Carthage and Utica.
Right.
And followed the Greeks in calling it its Semitic population.
Right, and the word Cartagena, I believe it's called Spain, is Cartagena. That's also Carthage too, named after us. Cartagena, Cartagena, right? Cartagena?
Yes, sir.
In Spanish, I believe it's Cartagena.
Yep.
That's Carthage. New Carthage. Go ahead.
And follow the Greeks in calling its Semitic population.
And follow the Greeks in calling it what?
It's Semitic population.
And follow the Greeks in calling it Semitic population what?
Punic.
Punic or Puni, go ahead.
Phoenicians.
Israelites. Okay? Now, get the next book, Fossilized Customs. All right, I'm gonna take a break after this. So that's on the Eastern Hemisphere. That's the old world, right? Phoenicians on the old world. Let's see if they're on the new world. Read that.
We want to start from
Los Lunas Stone is fine.
Los Lunas Covenant Stone.
Show the stone real quick. Scroll up to the stone. That's in Mexico, I believe. The Los Lunas Stone. Those are the 10 Commandments etched in stone in the Americas.
New Mexico.
New Mexico, etched in stone. 10 Commandments in Hebrew. For you apologists online, paying attention.
Bring it out.
Go up, please.
Los Lunas Covenant Stone, an ancient artifact of Israel, found in North America near Rio Grande. The photograph at the bottom of this page shows the 10 Commandments written in the primary Paleo-Hebrew script.
Paleo-Hebrew. Ancient Hebrew script. Go ahead.
Paleo-Hebrew script written on a large stone found in the 1800s at Los Lunas, New Mexico, near the Rio Grande. This stone carving could be 3,000 years old, and it contains the name Yahuwah.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it was written in obedience to Deuteronomy chapter 6.
Commandments. Go ahead.
As we are, write them on our doorposts and on our gates. This stone was at the entrance to an ancient colony of settlement of Israelites.
Who?
Of Israelites.
Oh, okay.
That had navigated up the Rio Grande.
Oh, Israelites. The Rio Grande. Go ahead.
The style of the letter Yod used on the stone indicates that the Israelites of the northern 10 tribes, Samaritans, were in North America.
Oh, that's where they came. Go ahead.
It could have been inscribed on this. It could have been inscribed on the stone as early as the 9th century BCE.
What time period is that? Read on.
During the reign of King Shlomo, Solomon.
Oh, that's where they wrote it over here. Oh, wow. Didn't Solomon have a fleet? Solomon had boats, right?
Yes, he did.
He did. He had boats. Go ahead, keep going.
Or as late as 146 BCE, when the Carthaginians.
Oh, wait a minute. The Carthaginians goes back to the Punics.
That's right.
Northern Kingdom again. That's still people. The Northern Kingdom. Go ahead.
Israelites were conquered by Rome.
Go ahead.
Many diasporas occurred. Go
ahead.
But we know now that Israel was mostly a sea empire.
We were with Solomon and Hiram. We both of them were a sea empire. Go ahead.
And they were called Phoenicians by the Greeks.
The diaspora was called Phoenicians by the Greeks. So they're called Semitics. Punics. Go ahead.
Yes, the Phoenicians were Israelites.
Yes, the Phoenicians were Israelites. Go ahead.
They didn't call themselves Phoenicians.
We didn't call ourselves that. That's a Latin Roman name. Go ahead.
Herodotus, 5th century BCE, called them that.
The Greeks called us that. Go ahead.
The Israelites traveled the oceans of the world as they mined tin.
Tin where? Where's tin found? Ireland, Scotland. We traveled there. Remember the Scoti of what? Of Ireland? The Iberi of Spain and the Berbers of Africa. Same people. Go ahead.
Copper, gold, and iron. Did you know that the distance from the western coast of Africa to South America is less than the width of the Mediterranean Sea?
See, it's very close. You have winds that flow from West Africa to America. You can't get lost. You can hop in a boat, let the wind take you. It will take you from West Africa to the Americas automatically. The currents flow westward. You get shipwrecked, your ass is in America. They have found ships that left Africa in the Americas. It was right there. Go ahead.
Columbus didn't discover the Americas.
Columbus didn't discover the Americas. Go ahead.
Israelites was already living here.
Israelites were already here. Go ahead.
And many became what are now referred to as Native Americans.
We'll be right back after these messages. We'll be right back on
break time.
Take break time.
Write this down regarding our people. If they stand behind us, we protect them. If they stand beside us, we respect them. But if they stand against us, we destroy them. In the spirit of the Lord. Understand that thing, brothers. Get the Lord a hand for that thing. We ain't out playing no games. The hell is this? We got much opposition, but we're going to win this thing. Understand that we're going to win. It's already written. We're going to win this thing.
Hunters, get them. Runners, sprinting. The anger of Christ is printing. Evolves the hunters from fishes. Big brute talk that Jew way.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people.
It's you who don't know. It's you Afro-Syrians who don't know your history.
And going to the other side of India, you see the Dalits as well as the Siddhis. Same thing on the Eastern Hemisphere. Mass incarceration, police brutality, lynchings, convict leasings.
You brothers and sisters in South Sudan, your heritage goes far deeper than where you live. You are the children of God.
Ein Herz, das arge Ränke. Was sind denn?
Vamos poder suportar.
Die Français.
Laat je niet misleiden tot filosofie van.
Got your sword, huh? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What you reading? Acts right now. Acts? Yes, sir. Okay. I'm looking at all the different things our forefathers were going through and travels using to spread the gospel to our people, you know. Hey, excuse me, can I ask y'all something? What we gonna get out of reading that Bible all the time? What's the point?
Yeah. I want these nations bowing down to me and make them crown the king. Glorious sound to me, release like Jubilee. The end of poverty, angelic body me. If I leave my throne, you gonna see a different side of me. This prophecy, prophecy, yeah, yeah, yeah. This prophecy, prophecy, yeah, yeah, yeah. This prophecy, yeah, yeah, yeah. This prophecy, ultra pure gold, gonna approach the throne. Way up, way up, way up to the ceiling. I can't fight this feeling. If your eyes on the kingdom, we got common interests. We've been down so long, oppressing in our members. Twinkling of an eye, now watch us fly like Delta engines. Man, we beneficial when these laws, they benefit you. I got so much channel aggression towards any law official that say we not the people or any artificial that conjured up an image that is contrary to the scriptures. Arms and feet like polished brass, lightning bolts coming from his visage. You can approach the throne, but not until I extend the golden scepter. That's right, stay in line. Watch me handle mine. Bring my cup of wine and toast to the end of time. This palace so divine, ain't it? Prophecy change your mind, can't it? I got servants who got servant. Damn, this the curse of Canaan. Rearrange it, blood of the gods, can't explain it. Get out of Dodge, they can't tame it. Ultra light beaming, pure gold on my raiment. I want these nations bowing down to me and make them crown the king. Glorious sound to me, release like Jubilee. The end of poverty, angelic body me. If I leave my throne, you gonna see a different side of me. This prophecy, prophecy, yeah, yeah, yeah. This prophecy, prophecy, yeah, yeah, yeah. This prophecy, yeah, yeah, yeah. This prophecy, ultra pure gold, gonna approach the throne.
I'm one of the sons of the prophets, watched by the word foxes. Who are these pale imposters? You can't inherit the promise, the color of brass polish. You don't believe it, you sottish. Come with your doctrine demolished. You don't want beef, sausage, not from Earth, interplanetary. Ain't it scary when the mothership landing? That's a chariot, baby. My daddy laughing, so calamity with the family. That's how it happened, little baby, when you don't want listen. Oh, you pledge your position. Oh, you might get a mention. Oh, 2/3 of this henchman. Sick of these niggas, I'm sick of these dogs. You wanna play games? Pause. I swim in that water like Jaws. These Christians is chicken dog. You read the apostles of Paul and don't understand it at all. You thought the word was flawed. Sit down in the dirt, crawl, never to rise up again. Yeah. Never to rise up again. The heaven they stacking they sin. The promise is back once again and black is the end. I want these nations bowing down to me and make them crown the king. Glorious sound to me, release like Jubilee. The end of poverty, angelic body me. If I leave my throne, you gonna see a different side of me. This prophecy, prophecy, yeah, yeah, yeah. This prophecy, prophecy, yeah, yeah, yeah. This prophecy, yeah, yeah, yeah. This prophecy, ultra pure gold, gonna approach the throne.
Shalom, this is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. I have an important message about your leaders in the Christian church. Your bishops, pastors, reverends, and ministers are all lying to you and leading you straight to damnation. The truth is, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the biblical Israelites, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Jesus Christ is a black man with white wool hair, according to Revelation chapter 1. Verses 14 and 15. We as the Israelites must keep the commandments in the faith of Christ to receive salvation, as it is written in Revelation chapter 14, verse 12. I've challenged and debated Christian authorities all over the world on these issues. Not one of them has been able to negate this truth. Your pastors have led you astray, worshiping pagan holidays and false gods, just as in the days of old. So join us on our mission to restore the true nation of Israel before the decree goes forth. The work is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Visit our website at israelunite.org or call us at 855-484-4842 to learn more and visit our schools. Shalom.
We're going to prove to you that Jésus-Christ is noir. He's a black man, no blonde.
So what, they speak Creole now? Yeah, whatever.
Too long. And believe it or not, that's the voice of God.
Yeah. I ain't gonna change. IUIC rejects.
We be getting missing, cause we be on a mission. We be on that stacking bricks that's taller than the ceiling. What the hell is you doing? Watching us gon' get you left. You be hating, then you chasing, now you running out of breath. We be shining on the high, cause we be grinding on the low. Where you at and who you with, and tell me where you about to go. What the hell is you doing? Worry about what you doing. All you doing is you showing. Get your mind off us and worry about what you doing. Hey bro, I can see your mind touching on our topics. Not me. I can see your nose snooping around our projects. You can't stop this truth, can't slow down this progress. Better repent right now, cause you ain't dropped that project. Real talk, peel off, left him with his grill off. Blaming us cause he done fell off. All in your sins done made him run off. Well, you need to start shooting them goddamn eyeballs. We be swishing over here, fishing over here, using scripts, no bait. You be scrubbing over there, struggling and fake loving all in my face. Yeah, bro, some of these fake cats wanna take our place. Got their eyes all on our plate. You need that milk, stop eating that steak. We be getting missing, cause we be on a mission. We be on that stacking bricks that's taller than the ceiling. What the hell is you doing? Watching us gon' get you left. You be hating, then you chasing, now you running out of breath. We be shining on the high, cause we be grinding on the low. Where you at and who you with, and tell me where you about to go. What the hell is you doing? Worry about what you doing. All you doing is you showing. Get your mind off us and worry about what you doing.
We recording yet? We live?
Yeah, man, we live.
Okay. How many people we got online?
2.
2?
2.
All right. Roll with it. We are the Israelites, according to the Bible.
Right.
We are to teach so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that you are the Israelites,
Bring it
according
out.
to the Bible.
That's right.
It's time for us to wake up and to know who we are.
Right.
It's time for us to gather together.
Gather.
White man don't love us.
No love.
Nobody don't love us.
Bring it out.
We gotta love ourselves.
Love ourselves.
How we gonna do that? By gathering together.
Bring it out.
Give me Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1.
That's right. Hey, you can't find it, Bishop? It's in the back of it's in the Old Testament at the end somewhere.
I know just what you doing. Stack no bricks, who you fooling? Never congregating like a student. You be home or scattered abroad, yeah, we go the distance. This an exhortation, stop living in the matrix. You be waiting on the kingdom, do nothing to take it. Just face it, oppressed and you complacent. Not by observation, but waking up the nation. What the hell is you doing? We be out your teaching. You committing treason. Last question, when you leaving? We be getting missing, cause we be on a mission. We be on that stacking bricks that's taller than the ceiling. What the hell is you doing? Watching us gon' get you left. You be hating, then you chasing, now you running out of breath. We be shining on the high, cause we be grinding on the low. Where you at and who you with, and tell me where you about to go. What the hell is you doing? Worry about what you doing. All you doing is you showing. Get your mind off us and worry about what you doing.
Hey, what's your name? Your name Bishop what?
My name Bishop TD. Elder Sucker Jive. One man camp. One pillow. No sheets.
How many readers?
One reader.
And who the reader?
Myself. Me. One camp. One teacher. One.
Discerning spirits of an emulation. Talking about these words beyond your comprehension. You may read the Bible, but your works is missing.
When you read the Bible speaks about that the Israelites came to this country on the slave ship. But as the Israelites, look what we must do. Obviously, verse 19. Repent ye therefore, and be converted. The Bible says, we as Israelites, we must repent. What does it mean to repent? We gotta change our mindset. Right? Certain foods that we eat, we gotta stop eating it. Why? Because it leads to our sickness and our illnesses. Exactly. All right, check this out. Get looking at this chapter 11.
Over your head, Apollo. Man, Apollo. Celestial your body, you know we gon' get it. And we in the streets to gather the sheep, we can say that we fishing. But God got intentions, and he got a mission to destroy all the minions. And the son of perdition, hunters, get them, runners, sprinting. The anger of Christ we quenching. If you roll the dice, you finish. Hunters, get them, runners, sprinting. The anger of Christ we quenching. Evolve to hunters from fishes.
Big brute talk that Jew way. Flooded with water, this truth is the new wave. Pray for the Sabbath, then wait for the Sabbath. Been thinking about it since Tuesday. This is a movie, I don't mean a Blu-ray.
Yo, 100 they souls in 4K. See it up close, swimming in ghosts. Keep it 100 like you say. I'm talking about expansion. Look in the book, it's mansions. Flex on a hater like Samson. God give it easy for ransom. Whips on their back, get damaged. Yo,
Psalm 149 been jamming. Yo, set a block on fire. Unitarians in the sky, my people been dying to vote. Your pastor been selling you hope. Your job been selling you dreams. Esau been selling you dope in the form of a pope. But this right here for the freedom. This right here ain't for Edom. A Moab or Ammon, this here for the family.
Yeah, and we want it all. We want it all. See Babylon fall. Yeah. To rule over dogs. See all of them crawl. And they
Yeah, we're back. We're back from the break. Back from the break. We're gonna deal with a couple of questions. Some of you may have sent in text. They have a question about Judith. Go ahead.
I have a question about Judith. Isn't she of the other nation reporting back to them?
No, Judith was the tribe of Simeon. When you read earlier on in the chapter, she's the tribe of Simeon. She definitely not. No, she wasn't. Next, you read this on your own. You'll find that she's Northern Kingdom. That's in chapter. Hold on.
Chapter 9,
9, right?
9, 1 and 2.
Oh, it was 8. Chapter 8. Chapter 8, verse 1. Chapter 8, verse 1 and 2.
Judith, chapter 8, verse 1. Now at that time...
No, you ain't got to read it.
Okay.
That's this chapter. It's chapter 8, verse 1 and 2. She's the tribe of Simeon. Yep, daughter Merari, Joseph. You don't, where we at?
You want me to read it, Deke?
Trying to find where it says that. Yeah, verse 9 and 2. 9, 1 and 2, yeah. That's what you said, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was 8, 1 and 2 and 9, 1 and 2. Where we at? What's the next one? Chapter 8, 1 and 2 and chapter 9, 1 and 2 tells you she's the tribe of Simeon, like her husband was Simeon.
Shalom, deacons and brothers. Welcome back from a successful campaign in Detroit. It was so powerful to watch, and I am sure even more amazing being there.
Yes, it was. All praises.
I never had the urge to watch Hancock, but can't wait until this episode is over because of the colorful description you've brought to it.
I have a habit of making movies something better than they are. So, right now, the movie is okay. But that element in the movie is good. Yes, go ahead.
That's what's so special about this series. You bring the past to life and make it so exciting, realistic and relative to us that every time I'm presented with past events, all I hear in my head is your excited voice and bombs of our hidden history. No more will we see history through those dusty rose-colored frames Esau has presented to us. All praises to you, sir, and to your amazing team. Sersha, New Jersey School.
All praises. All praises. One more? Let's go.
Shalom, deacon and brothers. Are modern-day Ethiopians Hamites?
Yes and no. I say yes because they're still in their land. Yes. Modern-day Ethiopians are still Hamites, yes, but you have our people like the Tigrayans, the Falashta. Those are our people. You have Semitic Ethiopians living in the land there as well who are facing a lot of persecution by the Ethiopians. So yes, they're still them. Yes, you can tell the difference. You can tell the difference between us and them. There's definitely a vast difference. But there's I say yes and no. So, you watch the movie, the show called Godfather of Harlem with Forrest Whitaker. His wife, she's Ethiopian. She's Tigrayan. That's our people. You have The Weeknd, Ethiopia. Nipsey Hussle, same thing. Tiffany Haddish, same thing. That's our people too. They're from Eritrea, Ethiopia, same place. That's our people. So those are examples. Going back to Zephaniah, going back to Isaiah 11, Acts, things like that. So yes, but the original, but are there indigenous Ethiopians? Yes. Are they persecuting our people? Yes. All right. Where we at? So give me
You got another question here on a comment board.
What's the question?
It says, is Sudanese people Hamites?
Yes. Sudanese people are the original Egyptians. But our people are found among them. But the Sudanese are the original Egyptians. The tall, very tall people, like record-breaking height. Sudanese, that's Egyptians. Those are the original Egyptians that were pushed out, and our people are among them. But the real Sudanese are Egyptians. All right, the Sudan, which means black also. Sudan means black too. In Arabic, I believe. The Blackanese, basically, Egyptians. I believe Manute Bol, that the tallest ball player, I think Manute Bol's name was, he's Sudanese. And some other, his son Bol, they're Sudanese. That's an example of, men of Isaiah 45, men of stature, that's them. Egyptians, Sabians, and Ethiopians, that's them. All right, where we at? Give me 1 Maccabees 8.
Yes, sir. This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 8, verse 3.
Remember, Israel's everywhere. That's why I say that we're among them. I say we're among everybody, but the original Sudanese are Egyptians. The original Ethiopians are Cushites. So, but we're among them. Hope that answers your questions. 1 Maccabees 8 and verse 1.
Verse 1. Now Judas had heard of the fame of the Romans.
Stop there. Fame of the Romans. I jump down to verse 3.
Verse 3. And what they had done in the country of Spain.
Well, they had done they conquered Hannibal during the Punic War. The Punic War. Punic Wars. Go ahead.
For the winning of the mines of the silver and gold, which is there.
Right, for the winning of the silver and gold of the mines in Spain, which was there. Because they conquered Hannibal during the Second Punic War, and they won the mines of gold and silver, and that money, the monopoly they had on that money, made them financially, and that made them a financial empire. Made Rome a financial empire. Okay? That victory made Rome very, very wealthy. All right? So that history is in the Bible regarding Hannibal's defeat. In 1 Maccabees 8 and 3, and what do they call them? The Gallic Wars with Julius Caesar is 1 Maccabees 8 and 2 with the Galatians. That was the Scythians that were conquered, or the Gauls that were conquered, or whatever, and pretty much were conquered by Julius Caesar, where they colonized that area in verse 2. And so Maccabees heard about their Gallic Wars and how they won those, and the Punic Wars, how they won that war as well. Okay? So now, they conquered the Gauls, and those Gauls pretty much migrated over to which they named it Galatia. All right. So now, where we at? Go to
Wisdom of Solomon.
Yeah, Wisdom of Solomon 7.
Yes, sir. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 17. For ye have given me certain knowledge of the things that are. Namely, to know how the world was made.
How the world was made. He learned Genesis. Go ahead.
And the operation of the elements.
He learned the creation account. He learned how things are made. The operation of the elements. Go ahead.
The beginning.
Solomon learned the beginning.
Ending.
Solomon learned the end.
And midst of the time.
And Solomon learned about the middle evil times. Solomon had knowledge of the beginning of time, the end of times, and the medieval times. So Solomon already in the spirit understood and saw the dark ages. He saw the beginning of time and he saw the end of the world. Solomon saw these things. He's a prophet. Go ahead.
The alteration of the turning of the sun and the change of seasons.
Go ahead.
The circuits of years and the position of stars.
Position of stars helps you do what? Helps you to travel and navigate by boat. Traveling by boat. To navigation, stars are a necessity in terms of travel in a boat. You need stars. You need those things. Okay, the winds, all of that. Read on.
The natures of living creatures and the furies of wild beasts. The violence of wind.
The violence of winds. You have to know wind when you sail. Go ahead.
And the reasonings of men.
Psychology. Understood that?
The diversity of plants.
Botany.
And the virtue of roots.
It's these are herbalists. Go ahead.
And all such things as are either secret or manifest, them I know.
Yeah, like lands. Like lands. Like this side of the world. All right? So now that's all I want. So now, give me let's go to the next one. Hold Ezra 13. Hold that. I don't need that. Go to the next thing I want you to get. So we got through that already. What else I want to get? Give me page 41, right? Page 46, which is page 41?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, blow it up. Regarding the Scoti of Ireland, the Iberi of Spain, and the Berbers of Africa are all the identical race. They're all the same. All going back to Caradicus, who was the forefather of Chief Arthurus ab Tudrig, who became later on named King Arthur and romanticized lore, even though he's a real person. He was a Silurian. All right? And those people, those names, Arthurus ab Tudrig And his father's name was Tudrig Ab Murig. Was his father's name. Tudrig Ab Murig was his father's name, his grandfather's name. So keep those names in mind. The AP, keep those names in mind. You're going to come across those later on with King James in them, who y'all think is Caucasian. We're going to tear a hole in you apologists.
That's right.
Destroy y'all, man. Y'all treading in dangerous waters and y'all talking about King James is a lie. It's a One West doctrine. Y'all, you know who you're dealing with. You don't know who you're dealing with.
Bring it out.
Y'all are stupid as hell, man. Then you're in the comment board. Why? Dad, my rant is over. Where are we? The south of Spain. Start there.
The south of Spain was at a very early period inhabited by a people called Iberians.
Who are they? The same people who are the Berbers of Africa. The same people who are the Scoti of Ireland. Same people. Go ahead. Israelites. Go ahead.
Their origin has not been satisfactorily settled.
It has. We settled it numerous times.
In fact, they are generally spoken of as if they were indigenous to that country.
Because they were there for a long time. Go ahead.
Their occupation of that part being of such ancient date.
No, this is the south of Spain. We always go to the south. Black folks love the south. Mm-hmm. The south of Spain was pretty much uninhabited. We took it. We took that portion because Japheth was there. So we took the south part. Okay, and Edom came. Of course, Edom came eventually, but read on.
And so long before what is vaguely called the historic age. Of recent years, however, it has been held by historians of the more honest class.
Go ahead, that don't lie and make things up and fabricate things. Go ahead.
That historic notices of ancient migrations are not the only means which may be employed in tracing the particular ancient family of our race to which a modern people belong. But the inclination is to group all facts bearing upon their national affinity, and from a careful analysis arrive at a conclusion according to the direction in which the greatest weight of probability points.
Right. We're going to try our best to get the facts.
Then there is almost an exact likeness between the word Iberi and Hebrew.
There is an exact likeness between the word Iberi and Hebrew. Go ahead.
The Hebrew form of the latter word is without the aspirate and is almost equivalent to the English letter Eber.
Eber or Ebo. Go ahead.
There's a frequent interchange of E and I in their usage in the spelling of ancient names. And the prefixing, the aspirate H, is quite common. Mm-hmm. Hence, we have Heber for Eber. Hibernian for Ibernian.
Ibernian for Ibernian. Go ahead.
Upon an old map which following long title, Hispania ab Heslo Gerardo, Delenita et Juxta annotation.
Right.
Doctrine Damna. 1631 AD.
There we go.
The name of a certain river is given as Eber or Ebro.
The Ebro River.
Rio, Oleum, Iberus, Flu. The Eber, or Hebrew River, in after times or afterwards called Iberus. The prefixing of the letter H does not necessarily prefix an aspirate. Many of our best scholars write in Hebrew pronounced an Ebrew. We have already seen that the ships of Solomon.
Here we go. We've already seen. Remember that thing before? We've already seen that the ships of Solomon. Go ahead.
Along with those of Haram.
Of Haram of Tyre. Because remember, we were both tradesmen. Solomon had wisdom of things that Haram did not have knowledge of, like lands. Go ahead.
Carried on a regular trade with the city called Tarshish, which is believed to have been the Greek Tartessus in Spain.
Right. Most agree that Tarshish is Spain. Some contested, but most agree that Tarshish is Spain. Most agree. Go ahead.
If then a large business were carried on between the Hebrews and Tarshish, there would be sure to be a large number of Hebrew residents.
There will be sure to be a large number of Hebrew residents. Go ahead.
Or traders in that city.
Mm-hmm.
Solomon would have his agents there, and it is of the most evident probability that private enterprise would lead to others locating themselves in that center of commerce.
Meaning Solomon's sailors, his shipmen, would live in those lands where we did trade along the Mediterranean Sea.
Dick, there might be a possibility. Probably have military.
Yeah,
agent there.
Ports. We had ports. We had ports, and we lived there.
Right.
And here too. Right. Here also. Go ahead, America too. Go ahead.
Solomon would have his agents there, and it is of the most evident probability that private enterprise would lead to others locating themselves and that center of commerce. See the action of Jonah the prophet,
right,
who wished to flee from his country rather than obey the command to go to Nineveh. He made for the seaport Joppa, where he found a ship upon the eve of starting for Tarshish.
Starting for where?
Tarshish.
To go to Tarshish. Go ahead.
This suggests the regularity and extent of the trade direct between two ports, and also the extent to which a knowledge of it existed in the country. Jonah evidently looked upon Tarshish as a less undesirable spot than Nineveh. Why, unless he looked upon the latter to be further removed in national relationship than the other, while to flee to Tarshish seemed to have arisen naturally in his mind, as if he knew he would find a hospitable people and a safe haven there.
Meaning Jonah was going to travel to Spain because he knew his people would be there. That's what the author's saying. That people of Israel resided there. Read on.
The seamen in the ship seem also to have been worshippers of Jehovah, and therefore people of Israel.
Right, go ahead.
The Story of Ireland.
Oh, The Story of Ireland. Go ahead.
A volume published in 1867 by A.M. Sullivan, Dublin, introduces that very interesting story. Thus, the earliest settlement or colonization of Ireland, of which there is tolerable, precise, and satisfactory information, was that by the sons of mild or malicious, from whom the Irish are occasionally styled Milesians. There are abundant evidence that at least 2 or 3 waves of colonization had long previously reached the island, but it is not very clear whence they came. Those first settlers are...
Is there more?
You have the next page?
Probably not.
Yeah, that's it.
You do? Those first settlers are what?
Those first settlers are severally known in history as the Partholanians, the Numidians, the Furbolgs, and the Danans. They say that. Dan. They say that's Dan.
Dan. I say it's Dan. Go ahead.
These latter, who immediately preceded the Milesians, possessed a civilization and a knowledge of the arts and science, which limited, as we may be sure, it was greatly amazed the early settlers whom they had subjected by the result.
Right, but we read earlier that the Iberi of Scotty, that these are in Ireland, the Berbers of Africa were all the same people. It's all the same people. These are different names of the same people traveling that inhabited south of Spain. The Iberians were Israelites, Carthaginians. What's the next book I have? We ain't used yet. Anything else?
I think Atkinson.
Atkinson's, yes. Atkinson's casket. Atkinson's casket. That book is very old.
You had that up. You had it up already. So what we showing you is that, look, 9 times out of 10, Israel was there. All right. We all met up. We all had pretty much safe havens everywhere, as you see with Jonah. He knew where he's going. Why would Jonah go somewhere other that nobody, you know what I mean? That no one was
It's unknown. That's unknown to him.
You know?
He's going to go somewhere where his people are at. That's what Israel does.
Just like with when you read it, when Matthew 2:13, when the angel told Joseph to go into Egypt, we was there because we had
people there.
You know. Also, even with Northern Kingdom, like Deacon was bringing out, that Solomon, that we was here already. Same thing with when you read 2nd Ezra 13. Why would we even travel over to this side of the world?
We're gonna get that next after this. Ezra 13:40.
Right.
Yeah, it's page 114, I believe.
And it's the blue highlight. The blue highlight.
The blue highlight. Next page.
Your favorite color?
Right. My favorite, blue. Okay. So I hope this information isn't going over anybody's head or anything like that. Y'all take good notes.
Hey, do we have that book? I used it. We mentioned Sotomayor about the Phoenicians.
We have
something Sotomayor.
We have that. That's what's the name of that book? The sociology. Yeah, the sociology.
It's called the Jews. It's called something the Jews.
Nah, it's called sociology. Something deep. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, it's called something Jews. Not sociology. No, it's called something Jews. No. It would something Jews. It's like a white book. It mentions the Phoenicians. It mentions Gehenna having a sympathy or was a weakness. It's in that book. We'll find it.
Yeah, we done brought out so many books.
Yeah, no, it's called the Jews. I think it's called The Jews. You have that? It's called The Jews. I think it's called The Jews. The Jews.
Put in Kahena. You could put that in and it come up.
Kahena. Let me see. Load up.
War of the Jews.
War of the Jews. War of the Jews.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay. Now, is there anything else? Anything else other than this on the page? That's the only page we have for this book. Because it's in that book. It mentions Phoenicians being Israelites in this book too.
War of the Jews.
War of the Jews. Yes.
Also,
that's all the pages right there.
Yeah, I think we brought.
Yeah, that's got to be it. It's in there. We're gonna read this book first, but just while you guys are doing that, well, I'll wait. Let's say something, Jess. You speak while you're doing this.
Officer Manny, you good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yo, hey, all praises, you held up, man. You held up. You know, played the song once for you today.
All praises.
You know.
Damn, not 4
all
times.
praises. Hey, shout out to Captain Joel. He out doing the work.
Yep.
Putting that brick in. Officer Haim.
This is it. That's the one. Yep. And it mentions this bunch of the Berbers too. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm excited now. This is the book the journal was called The Jews. I couldn't figure out what it was called. It's called War of the Jews by who?
Yeah, War of the Jews by Monroe Rosenthal and Isaac Moses.
Yeah, Monroe Rosenthal. This book is very hard to get. You might be able to get it now, but I know when I first went to get it, it was very hard to get. It was expensively difficult. I think I found like one that was like less than it was like $100 and something. Then the rest is like 400 and change. But I found one for me. Hope you guys found one for y'all.
Hey, Deacon's giving the books, man.
Yeah, I'm giving the books. Regrettably. I don't like giving books. Not because I'm selfish or mean, but because I know when I give the books away, people are going to run and buy them as they're going to increase the price or take them off the shelves. That's what they do.
Yeah, right now $62.
How much?
62.
62 now?
Yo.
Okay, for now. It wasn't before. Blow it up.
Grab it while you can.
Grab it while you can. 60 bucks.
Full copies.
Man.
It mentions Berber somewhere.
Hey, do you have page 191?
Yeah, I guess one of those. Yeah, 191.
We can start there.
It's in there.
It's 192.
Yep, 192. Try one of those 190 somethings. Wait. Stay there. Read right there. Read the top of that. Read the top of that page. The Phoenician or Punic people. Blow it up. That's it. Go up. Right there. Read that.
All right. The Phoenician or Punic people spread into Libya.
Read that earlier.
Malta.
Read that earlier.
Southern Spain. Southern France.
Septimania.
Sicily.
Southern Italy.
Sardinia. And Corsica.
Go ahead.
As prolific seamen.
Watch this.
Phoenician and Carthaginian.
That's Tyre, Hiram, and Solomon. Go ahead.
Carthaginian
sailors is Hannibal and them. Sailors, go ahead.
Circumnavigated Africa.
They circumnavigated Africa and where else?
And traveled as far as Ireland.
Traveled as far as Ireland. Go ahead.
And perhaps the
Americas. Damn. I'm telling you, man, you don't understand. Traveled as far as the Americas.
Damn.
Okay? Phoenician and Carthaginian is synonymous. They're the same people. In this instance, it's the same people. Coming over here is the same people. Go ahead.
When Rome conquered Carthage, many of her citizens claimed to be Jews.
Whoa.
Hey, we ain't read this in a while, so it's still exciting to me.
Yeah. Rewind. When Rome conquered Carthage, that's Hannibal and them. Go ahead.
Many of the citizens of Carthage,
I told you before, that the majority of the Israelites took over Carthage. Go ahead.
Claimed to be Jews.
Go ahead.
And therefore allies of the Romans.
Therefore allies to the Romans. Go ahead.
Many of the Berber peoples took on the Jewish faith as they came in contact with the Jewish refugees fleeing Trajan's war and later persecution by Christian Rome.
Now, this is confusion here because the Berber peoples are Israelites too. It's in this book here. It's going to say it. It says, Queen, go down. Go up, go down to right there. The full name of this princess. Matter of fact, wait.
Yeah, you want to
Berber. You start from at the time of Queen.
You
right there.
At the time.
Oh, you want more? You want to go above that?
Yeah, I thought.
Go above that.
The Jews.
Yeah, the Jews.
The Jews who had fled to the Atlas Mountains and the Sahara moved further west and south as Roman coastal cities like Carthage and Hippo became Christian.
Carthage and where?
Carthage and Hippo.
That's the St. Augustine there. Remember, St. Augustine was the bishop of Hippo.
Right.
St. Augustine was the bishop of this area. Hippo, go ahead.
During the Visigothic.
No, it became Christian.
Oh, the Jews who had fled to the Atlas Mountains and the Sahara moved further west and south as Roman coastal cities like Carthage and Hippo became Christian.
Because the disciples are teaching there too. Go ahead.
During the Visigothic persecution.
Visigothic goes into the Edomites, the white man conquering. Go ahead.
In Spain, more Jews immigrated to North Africa.
So during the Spanish, this is going into the Spanish Inquisition. Visigoths, Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand were Visigothic, were causing Visigothic persecutions. They were Visigoths or Vandals. It says during the Spanish Inquisitions, I was referring to. Go ahead. In Spain,
more Jews immigrated to North Africa.
More Jews immigrated to North Africa. This is right under. Go ahead.
Where they influenced and converted more Berber tribesmen.
Now, the Berbers were our people living there as well, but they were pagan.
So this is sorry, D. This is mainly Southern Kingdom meeting up now with
Northern Kingdom. Right. Go ahead.
In a sense.
Yep. Go ahead.
At the time of Queen Kahena, 8 Berber tribes professed the Jewish faith and fought under the command of this remarkable Jewish queen.
She was Israelite. Queen Kahena. Kahena means priestess. Kahena, priestess. Read, go down. The full name.
The full name of this princess and prophetess of the Atlas Mountains.
Because she was a prophetess because she was fighting against I believe the Arabs invaders. The Lord would show her visions on where they were attacked from. We were winning. Go ahead.
The full name of this princess and prophetess of the Atlas Mountains was Kahina,
priestess,
Diahan bint Tabitha,
bint is Bat, daughter of Tabitha. Go ahead.
Ibn Than,
son of Than. So her name was priestess Dahaya, daughter of Tabitha, who was the son of Than. She was an Israelite. That's what she was. Now jump down to the next page. Go next page. Regarding Berbers, it's going to say what the Berbers were. The Arab invaders, that goes into the Islam taking over. Go over now. It mentions Phoenicians and all that stuff too somewhere in this book. We're going to find that page.
What other page you at?
Okay, blow it up. Not that one.
Yeah, I think he's saying that's it on that page. That's all we used.
That's all we. What's that circle? What's that circle right there?
That's when we were fighting the Romans during 70 ADs.
Anything else? Go over. What's on that page? Blow it up. Something I want. It mentions Phoenicians and Berbers being the same. It mentions Berbers being Israelites. I know it's in this book. Like it says it verbatim. I know it's in this book. It says Berbers. Type in Berber. What books they give you?
It do. It says Phoenician Israelites.
Yes, it's in this book somewhere.
Yeah, it says Phoenician Israelites. Type in Phoenician Israelites. I don't know if we
can't find it, then it's all right. But I was trying to see if it's in there. It mentions Berber. It mentions Berber though.
Phoenician-Israelites.
Yeah, try that. Come on. If not, we'll just move on. I'll look for it. We'll be on next week. You see anything? What did I say?
That the same book? Yes, sir. Blow it up?
Blow it up. That gotta be it. I know I underlined it. Read that. Let me see. Go down.
Nah, that's History of the Jews.
All right, that's good too. Read that. Yeah. That's good. That's what I want. Read that. That's good. Read that. Then we're gonna read Esdras after this. 13. Read this here. Watch this. Remember that stone? That stone. It says they were great seamen. They were great sea travelers. Go ahead.
Solomon's greatest gains, however, were acquired in trade with India.
Because Solomon sailed from Ezion-Geber, which is into the Persian Gulf, which leads into the Pacific Ocean, the Indian or Pacific Ocean. All right, watch this.
To the Phoenicians, the journey to this distant country was attended with insuperable difficulties.
Innumerable, right? Insuperable difficulties.
Yeah. So long as the country near the Red Sea was rendered unsafe by the uncivilized and predatory bands that dwelt there.
Go ahead.
By his alliance with Haram.
By Solomon's alliance to Haram. Go ahead.
Solomon had opened up a safer and nearer route to India.
Which is, they say that the Gold of Ophir is over there. Go ahead.
The strip of land extending from the southern border of Judah to the eastern coast of the Red Sea. The points Eleph and Ezion-Geber,
that's the border of Edom. Go ahead.
had been rendered accessible.
Uh-huh.
The caravans, with their loaded camels, could proceed in safety from Jerusalem and from the coast to the northern point of the Red Sea.
Watch this.
At Haram's suggestion, Solomon had a fleet of strong and large ships.
Solomon had a what?
Solomon had a fleet of strong and large ships.
Solomon had a fleet of strong and large ships to travel far distances. Go ahead.
Ships of Tarshish.
Ships of Tarshish, going back to Spain.
Built and equipped on the coast at Ezion-Geber. Haram sent his most skillful sailors who knew the route thoroughly to man the vessels.
Go ahead.
Israelites of the tribes of Asher and Zebulun.
Go ahead.
Who lived on the coast and were acquainted with the sea were also employed.
He employed them. Asher and Zebulun, who lived on the coast, were acquainted with the sea and were also employed. By who? By Haram and them. That's why I said to y'all before, 2 weeks ago, how Tyre and Sidon, they were like the Walmart and Amazon of ancient times. And our people, Northern Kingdom, were their employees. They would sail the sea. Zebulun and Asher in particular were seafaring people. Hannibal hails from that tribe, those two, one of those two. Asher or Zebulun. And that's in Caesar and Christ you're going to talk about, right?
Nah, y'all have the book Travels in North Africa?
By them Slotz?
Yes, sir. Because it names Asher and them in Carthage that settled with...
Give me, real quick, let that go. Give me Ezion-Geber. Hold on a second. Ezion-Geber. We're almost done. First Kings 9:26. Sure, this is in the Bible. 1 Kings 9:26.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 9, verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
And King Solomon made a navy of ships.
King Solomon made a what?
And King Solomon made a navy of ships.
You know what a navy is? It's a sea army. A navy is a sea army. That's what it is. Travelers as well as the military. You know Israel wasn't no weakling. You can't be a weakling sailing the sea. You can't be scared and can't fight. That's craziness. So it says he made a navy of ships. Go ahead.
And Ezion-Geber.
At where? At Ezion-Geber. At Ezion-Geber. Now, get me 2 Chronicles 20:35. So his descendants down the line did the same thing. 2 Chronicles 20, verse 35 and 36.
2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 35.
This is the treaty between King Jehoshaphat and another king. I forgot his name. Jehoshaphat reigned, I think it was
Ahaziah.
Ahaziah, yeah. And Ahaziah. But Ahaziah was evil as hell. Well, go ahead,
And after this did Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, join himself with Ahaziah, king of Israel, who did very wickedly.
36.
And he joined himself with him to make ships to go to Tarshish.
He joined himself with him to make him ships go to Tarshish. That's Spain. Most agree that's Spain. Go ahead.
And they made the ships in
Ezion-Geber. And they made ships in Ezion-Geber. They made ships in Ezion-Geber, the same thing. Okay, Ezion-Geber is at the border. It's a border of Egypt, I believe. You sail into the Persian Gulf, and you sail, and you end up in the Pacific Ocean. All right. Is there anything else? You found anything else in there regarding Berber? Oh no, you want something else, right, Jess? You want something else about North Africa?
Yes, sir. Bring that. Let me see this page right here. Yes. I think that's it. Yep. Just to go back with Asher and Zebulon.
In that Atkinson's casket, we'll read that last because that says it also.
Go down. All right. So this is travel. This book is called Travels in North Africa by Nahum Slope.
This is by the way, Jez, if I may.
Yes, sir.
This is a book that Rudolph R. Windsor references in his book.
Yes.
You got dumbass heathens trying to debunk Rudolph R. Windsor's book, but these are the sources that he cites from and put in his own book. Go ahead.
You got to debunk him. You
got to debunk all the sources. You got to debunk this guy now. Go ahead.
But were all the Carthaginians Trinitarians or polytheists? We learn from several inscriptions that side by side with the temples of Baal and of Tanit, of the emanation or the face of Baal or the name of Baal, stood the temples wherein high priests ministered to Baal Shemayim, the god of heaven. Other inscriptions indicate that certain tribes of Asher and of Zebulon lived in Carthage.
Since when?
Ever since the foundation of the city.
That's a Dido. Zebulon and Asher lived in Carthage since the foundation of the city. They traveled there with Ham and were there for years. And eventually when the Greeks overthrew the Tyre and Sidonians, they took over. Read on. Is there more? Or that's it?
That's it. That's all I want.
That's all you want. That's all we need. You go to Atkinson's casket now, the blue highlight. Go to that now. I'm going to find that book about Berbers. I'm going to find it. Next week. Move it over. Read right here. Yep.
Yes, sir. In the days of Solomon, nearly 3,000 years ago, the Phoenicians, or Tyrians, as they were then called, were the only seamen of the age capable of conducting the fleets of Solomon to the various nations with which that great king held communication.
Right.
Extensive must have been the voyages which the enterprising Tyrians made for Solomon.
Right, on the Mediterranean Sea, as well as and also from Ezion Geber. They didn't come over here. Go ahead.
Accompanied by the Jews. They were 3 years in performing the voyages which they were commanded to make.
Come on.
Besides, for the king had at sea a navy of Tarshish with the navy of Haram. Once in 3 years came the navy of Tarshish bringing gold, silver, and ivory.
That's in 1 Kings. Go ahead.
And to what regions of the earth this fleet sailed is left in a degree to conjecture.
Right, to guess. Go ahead.
But from the articles they brought back and from the length of the voyage we are to judge. Besides gold, silver, and ivory, they brought apes and peacocks. These animals, more especially the latter, are found in greater abundance in Africa
than in any other part of the world. So Solomon sailed the Pacific and he sailed the Atlantic Ocean too. Go ahead.
And indeed, that seems to have been the place of their nativity. Gold, silver, and ivory abound likewise in Africa and in the more southern parts of that quarter of the globe. Numerous species of the ape kind are found. Hence, we are to conclude that the fleet of Tarshish passed the Straits of Gibraltar.
Past Spain, go ahead.
And then directed their course to the south, along the western coast of Africa, to near the Cape of Good Hope. For only towards the south part of Africa were apes to be found, while along the Guinea shores all of the other articles were in great abundance.
So Solomon and Haram, they both sailed together. Our people and them. Sailed the Atlantic Ocean up and down in the Pacific as well. India, Pacific Ocean as well. Go ahead.
It is rendered still more probable that
his fleet also, Solomon's fleet, us, came over here. Go ahead.
Which returned once in 3 years, made voyages to the Atlantic from the circumstance not only that it could have explored any or all parts of the Mediterranean Sea in a shorter time than 3 years, but from that another fleet was fitted out on the shores of the Red Sea, conducted as was the other by Tyrian or Phoenician sailors, assisted by the men of Solomon. This fleet sailed to Ophir, which must have been on some island in the Indian Ocean, or on some of the coasts of that ocean. Hence, the fleets of Solomon traversed 2 oceans.
The fleets of Solomon traversed 2 oceans. Go ahead.
One of the east.
And that's the Pacific. Go ahead.
And the other to the west of Africa.
Atlantic. Go ahead.
And on board of these fleets were both Jews and Tyrians.
Come on.
Ancient writers speak of a large and delightful island or land which the Phoenicians discovered in the Atlantic Oceans west of Spain. This land was called the Atlantic Isle, and it is supposed to have sunk.
That's all. I'm going to jump down the next part. Go over. Is there more?
Go down.
There's more blue highlights. Or was that it? Up there. You have to get to the point. It didn't get much time. Come on.
North America were driven to our shores, that those people were Phoenicians, Arterians, and Jews, and that they landed in as ancient days as those of the reign of Solomon.
North America were driven to our shore. Go down to the bottom.
Yeah, we got to start at the bottom. Sorry.
That's like something missing. No, not there. Other side, to the bottom. There we go.
All the way to the bottom.
What's up? What's that? Wait, what's there? Go up to that blue highlight there.
We read it already.
Hence the fleet, Solomon Traverse. Go down. Daring enterprise might have induced them to direct their courses through the western waves in quest of lands which had never been found. Which have what?
Which had never been found.
We're going to get that soon. Never been found. Go ahead.
We draw a conclusion that from some of the above causes, the first people inhabiting North America.
Here we go. The first people inhabiting North America. Go ahead.
Come on. North America, come on. Were driven to our shores, that those people were Phoenicians.
They were by the Phoenicians,
Arterians, and Jews.
They were Phoenicians or Jews. Tyrians is Canaanites, but Phoenicians is Carthage in them. That's us. Phoenicians is us. Going back to Carthage. The Phoenicians or Jews. Go ahead.
And that they landed in as ancient days as those of the reign of Solomon.
And that they landed here during the reign of Solomon. That stone dates back to the time of Solomon, the Hebrew of Solomon's time, 900s. Go down, but whether
the progenitors of the Indians of America arrived here through design or accident, whether they came in a numerous fleet or in a single vessel.
They came in a what?
Whether they came in a numerous fleet.
The Native Americans came in what?
In a numerous fleet.
No, they walked here.
Numerous fleet.
They came in boats. They came in a numerous fleet. Go ahead.
Or in a single vessel. It matters not. If we can trace their origin and read their history, it must suffice. And speaking of the Indians of America coming from Phoenicia and Palestine.
Coming from where?
Phoenicia and Palestine.
Whoa. And speaking of the Indians of America coming from where?
Phoenicia.
That's Canaan.
And Palestine.
Go ahead.
Or Judea.
Go ahead. We what?
We have reference to the numerous tribes which inhabited the central and southern parts of North America.
What were they?
Those
Israelites. Go ahead.
Those which inhabited the northeastern parts, we believe, came from a different quarter, and those in the northwestern came from another direction, and the inhabitants of South America came from a quarter different from the either of the others.
Listen, let's say what he's saying. They came here in fleets. Some stopped off in South America. Some stopped off in North America. Some stopped in Central America. But they all came from Phoenicia, Palestine, and Judea. Those are all Israelite lands and names. Palestinian Israelites, Judeans, Phoenicians as Israelites. How? This book is really old. This book here is old. Well, I think it's older than 1860. I think it's like 18...
Yes.
20 or 30?
Yeah, this is around 1830s.
1830. This book is 1830. So they published it. This book was published in 1830, but compiled in 1820s. It's old. They know who was here.
White eyes only.
White eyes only. So, give me Exodus 13. We'll end on that. Excuse me. Exodus 13:40. This book is called Atkinson's Casket, right? Atkinson's Casket.
Yes, sir. Atkinson's Casket.
Atkinson's Casket. It's a long title.
Yeah.
It's called something Atkinson's Casket.
Atkinson, so it's like ATKINSON.
Yeah, Atkinson's Caskets, like a your casket. Atkinson's Casket. I'll have to bring the book in. I'll bring the book next week, and I'll share out a cover.
It's an old magazine.
It's like an old magazine,
and
right? And it has a bunch of articles. It's an excerpt from the magazine within. It's an old 1830s magazine with historical articles in the magazine. It's like an ancient National Geographic, pretty much. All right, Exodus 13:40.
Second Ezra chapter 13. Verse 40.
We read in this book, we read earlier that the Psalm them traversed lands that had not been known. Remember what Solomon said? It was with Solomon. Whether things manifest or secret, I know. So it wasn't Hiram coming over here. No, it was Solomon's fleet. And we read earlier that Zebulun and Asher, they knew the sea well. So if there was anyone on this ship, it was them. On Solomon's ships. All right? And that's where them Olmecs come from.
Right.
They are the progenitors of the Mayans and Incas, who are Zebulun and Asher. It's the same people. The Olmecs are not heathens. They're not heathens. I went over this way long ago about the Olmecs. They fathered the Chichimecs, the Toltecs, the Toltecs, Nahuatl, Chichimecs, Toltecs. They had a whole bunch of names.
Oh, Officer Don, it's about three main ones: the Olmecs, the Chichimecs,
and Toltecs. And Toltecs are the three. Right, those are the three top. Because the Aztecs, the Aztecs derived from the Toltecs.
Right, yeah.
I believe the Aztecs
all the other was derived from those three main
those three
tribes,
groups, the three main groups, right? And they all their chiefs, the Quiche, the Quiches, the Quiche Nation, Balaam Quiche, the Caciques all claim Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Their forefathers in that book we have also. Read that, Ezra 13.
2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, who Salmanasseh, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
Right, this is captivity, taken to another land. Going back to remember earlier about the Scythians, they were taken to Media and Persia. Another book I read earlier about how it came from the Punics. Or they came from Media, Persia. It's the same people. Go ahead, right. Carthaginians. Go ahead.
But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
Now, stop here. When they took this counsel among themselves, they didn't just up and leave, because the Assyrians were brutal. The Assyrians were severely violent. You're not going to just up and leave. If the nations take you out your land and place you in lands that they themselves designate, you're not going to say, hey, guys, let's just leave. No. They had to have been given a liberty to do so. Ezra 13, verse 40, is a whole bunch of history within like one verse. Like Daniel 9, 25 to 27 is 3 captivities in 2 verses. 3 in 3 verses. First Maccabees 8, verse 1 to 3 is 2 wars, one during Julius Caesar time and one during another Caesar's time later on. So you'll oftentimes read a verse, you think, oh yeah, this happened the same time. No, it's time in one verse. An extensive time covered in one verse. So when they got liberty, in order for them to have a conversation to leave, they had to have been given liberty to leave. The Assyrians were brutal. When Sennacherib lost to Judah, he was killing and throwing Northern Kingdom off the roof, off the walls. And Toba was running around burying them secretly. They were terrible, terrible people, the Assyrians. Read on.
But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
When they were given the opportunity to during the time of King Cyrus the Persian. Go ahead.
And go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Where never mankind lived. Never. I mean, this world is new. It's a new land. New world. Because the old world, man dwelt there. This is a new world. Go ahead.
That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
Remember it says here, the key part is here is they would leave the multitude of the heathen. How are you going to leave heathen all around you? So where would they go where there's no heathen at all? Where no man lives. Here. Because no one was here when they got here. That's how you know. It's here. Because no heathens were here when they got over here. None. Read on.
And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river.
Because they were placed in cities of the Medes that bordered the Euphrates River. And they sailed into that river, and they ended up where? It sails southward. The Euphrates flows southward. Okay? Read on. In the same water that borders Ezion-Geber. In the exact same water. It's right across from each other. Go ahead.
For the Most High then showed
the Persian Gulf. Flows into the Persian Gulf. Go ahead.
For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood.
Held the water still, the currents still, because it was turbulent waters. Go ahead.
Till they were passed over.
So they were able to pass through the waters. Go ahead.
Through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
Go ahead.
And the same region is called Arzareth.
Meaning another land. Arzareth means another land. The term Arzareth is found in Deuteronomy 20. Get that real quick. Deuteronomy 28, 25. I think that's it. Another land. Deuteronomy 28. Let me see. 1 second. I'm going to show it to y'all in the Bible.
Deacons 338.
Yeah. 29, 28. We're going to wrap it up. 29, 28. We're going to wrap it up.
This is the book of Deuteronomy.
Oh, it's past. Damn. Yeah, 29, 28.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 29, verse 28. And the Lord rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation and cast them into another land as it is this day.
Right, so the word Arzareth means another land. That's the same thing. Arzareth means another land. But this land they would be this land that they would come to is where never mankind dwelt, which is here. They refer to this place as another land also, or Arzareth. All right? So we're going to wrap it up there. I'm way past my time. My apologies, but hope you guys enjoyed the show. All praise to the Lord. We're going to come back with the information regarding the Berbers being Israelites of North Africa. We're going to go into that Lozo next week. So stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, the class. Shout out to the IT team. Shout out to the breakfast team. Did an excellent job today. Excellent job. Many of you did all right. Except for that Ezra's and Maccabees thing.
All praise.
Nice beat.
All praise to the Lord for that. Announcements real fast. Come on.
Let's give all praises to the Most High. Let's give a round of applause for Deacon for that beautiful class. Now make sure, Israel, you subscribe to our Hidden History Radio, IUIC Philadelphia, and also IUIC Philadelphia in the Classroom for the latest content, also camp classes, anything that pertaining to this truth. Make sure you subscribe.
Come on. Man.
Donate
Right.
on PayPal to Our Hidden History, IUIC Philadelphia at IsraelUnite.org. Booster Club, IUIC fundraising at IsraelUnite.org. Last but not least, subscribe to IUIC TV to get exclusive content from the leadership of IUIC.
All right, so with that, Lozo, we'll see y'all next week. Shalom, Most High in Christ bless. See y'all then.
Shalom, Most High in Christ bless.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah,